take your mind over. They make you do crazy things. They deceive you, make you kill somebody, go crazy. Where the angelic world or the physical beings, they can come in here and light. These beings are made of light. The dark force is a parasitic race. And
do you guys want to open this up public?
Whatever you want to do.
Public live?
Yeah, up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna open this up public and just switch it on my back end before it gets deeper into this. Switch it to live. Public. All right, you can make it public too, Baze, and if you want to share it, you can too, ADM.
Okay.
Oh wait, hold on. How do I change it to public now?
Just go into your studio like I did right here, and just if you're doing this, you can go to your studio. You can click
the three
content.
dots, or
go to live. Click your just click it actually the whole thing, and then you're gonna want to come in here and just flip it to public. In here, right here. Flip it to public.
Oh, I'm in the other part again. I think I got to go somewhere else. I'm in like where the analytics are.
All right, so let's change the title. Discussing spiritual warfare. Days and welcome to everybody that's popping in the chat. We have been doing members live all day, and we decided to open this up to the public. Let me just finish this out real quick.
Hold up. I go to settings.
Bro, I showed you.
I know. I wasn't looking at the screen.
Go to your studio. Click
Hold on,
content.
I think I got it.
Goodness, I've shown you so many times too.
Yeah, I'm the fucking worst. I know.
All right.
I still don't know where it is.
Okay.
Very meaningful.
So right now, for anybody that's joining, we're covering what had happened a year ago with someone named Chris Bledsoe, and he was on Sean Ryan's show. Basically, the Pentagon and the government were using him because he had a spiritual or an enlightened experience or spoke with a spiritual being. All right. And this being gave him the information to the future of what was going to happen. And he literally talked about this over a year ago. This was February of 2025. And he talked about bombing Iran. He talked about so much. And now he's basically saying like the resurrection and all this stuff is supposed to happen this Easter. Right. So that's coming up. That's around the corner. So we're just getting to that point. I figured let's see if anybody else wants to come hang out with us. And welcome to all those that are joining now. ADN left, no? Did she leave? What happened? Well, she might come back and share it. So, all right. Let's run it.
And whoever's aligned with that is, according to the mother, the lady, is scripting the book of Revelation. They don't want it to happen.
Why do they want it to happen?
I think it's the dark force. I think that they want to snuff out God. They don't want us to have God in our heart. Why do you think they did evolution? That's the biggest, dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. That every living thing come from a mud puddle, and it can't happen. It's just not possible. It's a laugh. It's a joke.
You know what I find interesting is from the very beginning, when you saw the being that your family, and initially you, if I remember correctly, thought was just a medication, but you had some type of an intuition from the very get-go that this was a guardian angel of some type.
Yep.
And it has progressed.
I knew I had one when I was 10. I just knew it. I knew something saved me because the doctor's like, man, you shouldn't have lived through this. If I showed you the hole in my back and the lead in front of me right here, you'd be like, how did this happen? Is that close to my spinal column? And I'm leaning over a bit. Is that close to the back of my head? And directly in line with my heart. And I knew the doctor told me you're the luckiest guy in the world. And all I could think then was it was something protecting me. In fact, in my regression, 2008, if you heard the regression, they said, we were with you when you were 10 years old and we'll be with you right on.
You know what else I find interesting? You are the only one, to my knowledge, that I've spoken to on this subject, on the UFO subject, that believes in Jesus Christ.
I do wholeheartedly. More today than I ever did.
It openly talks about it.
More today than I ever. And that's been a problem of censorship and kind of put me on the back burner and keeping me at bay publicly.
Yeah.
It really has.
I'm not surprised.
Why? Hold on.
I'd never.
Why do you think that is? Why you notice how like Sean brings up like, yo, you're the only one I've spoken to on the UFO subject that believes in Jesus, and then right away he's like, yeah, that's been a reason for censorship.
Why do you think? What is the censorship?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of I don't know if that's considered rhetorical, but it is. It's because the whole agenda is to separate us from God, and it's a defiance of Jesus.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we have to realize that the government, the global powers, okay, the one world government, all of that is ran by Zionism, right? It's Christian and Judaic Zionism, and that, like, not saying that they run and control. I'm not going to say that, but we all know what we know, and we'll just say, for YouTube's sake, that if they were to be in full control, they do not believe in Jesus when it comes to the Judaic side. All right. Christian Zionism is basically another first of all, Zionism is not an actual religion. It's a political movement based around religion. And so they've created this ideology that will be able to summon the Antichrist for Christians or the Messiah for Judaic, and that is the whole movement. So through this movement, they don't want, like, it just depends on what they are, if they're Christians or not. Now, in general, I covered on my last live stream yesterday, the day before, Judaism, they do not believe in Jesus. They believe in that he is a traitor or a liar or whatever. And so most people, I think, that he's talking about, sorry to go roundabout, I think that most people are of the Jewish descent. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but like when I'm talking about it, it's
Or the
not,
scientific.
it's not even about like Judaism or whatever. It's a lot of these people are atheists, and a lot of them are devil worshippers.
Right.
Like straight up, think about it. When you see in the files and you see all this talk about people that allegedly sacrifice children to Baal and to Moloch, that's not any of these other typical religions that people talk about.
Right.
That's like straight Masonic devil worshipping shit, you know? And when you think about it, when you look back at like how NASA was formed with like Aleister Crowley and these occultists, it's some pretty dark stuff. And, you know, my theory is that a lot of these individuals and a lot of these people that are really believing that they might hide behind the guise of other specific religions and then use laws to enforce hate speech as a way to try to protect themselves from criticism.
Right. Well, I think that more that this conversation is just regarding the fact that they're just not Christians because of the fact that they're scientists or they're government, political, like Judaic. You know what I mean?
No, but my point is, a lot of these people, it's not that they don't believe in Jesus. They do believe in Jesus, but they defy Jesus. They want to be God. They want to play God. They want to worship other gods.
Right. So what are you trying to say, Jack?
Huh?
What do you mean? What are you trying to say? Like,
No,
what do you
I'm
think?
saying that there is an anti-Jesus, anti-Christian agenda that goes beyond regular religions that we may hear about.
I agree.
You know, I mean, you look at
They
Michael
believe.
Aquino. You look at Michael Aquino, who was in the military, has indirect connections to Turning Point USA, and he was a literal high priest Satanist who wrote books or co-authored books on psychological warfare that the government uses and is influenced by for psyops. Like
Right.
all of this stuff is connected. Like you want to talk about like connecting dots. Like it's all there. And it's very clear that, you know, when you get past just the idea of control and wealth and all these different material things that people within this little bubble of bullshit that we live in might focus on, it's bigger than that. It's people that want to be God, that want to defy God, that hate Jesus, that know Jesus is real, but they don't want you to believe Jesus is real.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is they will want to plant or seed doubt in any way they can in order to gain that psychological control over us. You know what I'm saying? You get it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep playing this. I want to
Yeah.
put a ticker on the top of the screen for people so they know where we're at.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go. So, okay,
I'm gonna be right back. I just need a minute, so keep playing.
no problem.
About what we just talked about until now, because now I think it's the time to tell it. 12 years, 13 years, I've kept it secret. Only my family knew.
What do you think that day is going to look like? If you thought you had to,
It says in Michael, in that glorious and beautiful day, he's coming back to save us all.
And so all of this, for those that are showing up, the reason why I'm talking about this is because the Iran war, the spiritual conversation around religious war, and all of the stuff that's been recently coming out, we have seen an influx, a heavy influx in this conversation of a religious war. We're doing this to summon this and that. I mean, we've seen the news articles of and content of people saying that the government is telling the military and to tell their soldiers and the activity there that they're going out for the summoning the new revelation, the revelations, I guess. I mean, American Discourse will be popping in here shortly, and I'm sure she has plenty to say on this as well. But I am playing this and discussing this because I believe that they are using any potential information or person's experience in order to give credence to the very thing that they are trying to do. You know what I mean? Which is they're trying to take biblical prophecy and create their own reality and think that they are powerful enough to do so, which I think if that's the case, it's just prophetic only because what I believe is that God already knew that this was going to be attempted. So they're running this playbook. And in my mind, this was already predicted if you believe in the prophecy, if you believe in the Bible, if you believe in all of these things. So this man, Chris Bledsoe, predicts what happened, and I'll keep playing it.
do you look forward to that day?
Absolutely.
Do you have any fear about
I
that day?
fear my children and these crazy people that just can't get a hold of their whatever they're doing. I'm almost 63 years old. I've been through 11 or 12 presidents. And people my age and your age, but especially my age, everything's happening now is completely not normal. And we all see the writing on the wall. We all see the players, some of these players. There's a lot behind the scene that we, especially, they're hidden, but we all see something ain't right. And there's got to be a cleansing. And the only thing that can change people is God. And the phenomenon can change you inside. But there ain't going to be no change of humanity without having some spiritual thing come in and change us from the inside out there. And that's what's coming. And it's nothing nobody can do about it. They can squeal and squirm and try to make it look negative and ugly all they want. But it's not going to stop what's coming, according to her. And in the book of Revelation, in the very last chapter, it says, when the armies surround Israel on all four sides, that he's coming back to fight the battle and rid the world of evil. And then there'll be a time of peace, 1,000 years. And that's what the lady told me. Same thing. I said a lot,
Thank you for sharing that.
a whole lot. 18 years, I've never told this. Or 17 and a half years.
How does it feel to get it out?
Right. Right. I'll get a lot of blowback from this, I promise you. I just hope the world that has been told it's the devil can wake the heck up and see that a little bit of heaven's coming here to help us.
Would you be willing to come back on the show?
I would love to, yes, sir. I'd be honored.
I could go deeper, but I think this is a good part to end this interview. But with that being said, I would love to get you back because I have a lot more questions, but I know it's been a rough day.
Just say the word and I'll be here.
Thank you, Chris.
I promise.
There's been a lot of speculation on if UFOs are strictly some type of spiritual entity, or if they are nuts and bolts, or if it's both.
There's a possibility there's both, but I haven't seen the other side. All these years' experience has been with the phenomenon, I call it, is a spiritual thing. It's like magic. They appear out of nowhere. In fact, Tim Burchett made a quote, and I saved it, that they believe that the interdimensional world would be the angels. And so if there might be some star cruiser coming from some planet some far away and stopping over to resupply and get some gas or something, right? But I can tell you there's not a reason in this world an alien would come down to the river where I'm crying out, God, help me. Why would he even care? Why would they want to help me? Why would they help all these other people, even animals? Because they have compassion for us and love.
I know I already asked this, but I do want to ask it again. And I just want to hear what you personally think. I mean, of 2007 to 24, we're talking almost 17 years now.
Yeah.
Why you? What is it that you believe that God saw in you in that moment of time? Lots of people look up.
I think that the phenomenon or God or whoever knew that I'm the kind of person that would never back down. Never, ever. Look at Paul in the Bible. Look at all the apostles, every one of them. They knew what they knew and they went to death for it. They were boiled in oil and tortured and crucified and hung upside down and dismembered because they knew, without a doubt. Paul, on the road to Damascus, it says, and a flash of light flashed around him and blinded him. It was an orb, the ball of light. And that's exactly what comes out of the sky and interacts or comes into my house or around us. It's just the light. And it answers to prayer.
So I want to tell you kind of what I think. I don't want to keep playing this and it'll kind of crazy boring here if we keep going on that. It's been a minute, but I want to explain a little bit about spiritual warfare in the end game that I see, or what I actually think, just my opinion. And you can disagree with me in the comments or the chat. I'll read all of them. And even though I don't have the ability to, I'm on one monitor right now, so I'm a little struggling here. But if we really think about the disclosure conversation that's happening right now, I got a cramp. The congressional hearings, the David Grush statement, I got to stand up. I got a cramp. Shit, they don't want me to talk about it. The Pentagon releasing UAP information, okay? All of it is not accidental. I think it is like the government does not accidentally or unintentionally release information that they don't want disclosed. They release classified information because they want us to think or feel or believe a certain particular thing. Now, when it comes to the release of it, I believe it serves a purpose. And the question you have to ask is, whose purpose, right? And here's where I land after I've gone deep on this multiple times, is that there are two completely separate categories of phenomena. You have, especially being deliberately blended together in the public conversation right now, today, when Chris Bledsoe talks about, we didn't see the part, and it sucks that I didn't find it, but it's in that 2.5 hour live stream where he talks about how Easter is the day that they are trying to resurrect and bring on the revelations. Now, you have two categories. You have the actual craft, okay, like actual craft, hardware is what I'm saying, right? It's technology that outperforms anything that we've seen, like what tic-tac objects, tracked by the Navy pilots. We've all seen that with calibrated instruments tracking this. That is a real phenomenon that at least that's what they told us, that it may be, well, just a foreign adversary, capability or something genuinely unknown? I don't know. I don't know what to believe, but nobody outside a handful of classified programs really knows. They're telling us one thing. Now, the second category is what I believe Chris Bledsoe has experienced, is that, and also his son experienced it, what, 8, I believe, multiple independent witnesses at the least on the river that day experienced it, is that it was not hardware, and that it has no nuts or bolts explanation, that it is something operating at the intersection of consciousness, prayer, and biology. Because remember, early on when we were still in the members only, I said that he was broken, he was distressed, he was depressed, he was under spiritual attack, and then he opened himself up to prayer, and he literally was able to, through this prayer, through the spiritual being interacting with him, healed a 17-year Crohn's disease overnight, healing a child with mitochondrial DNA failure at 1 a.m. It operates on, what he's saying is like a calendar tied to Easter. It's not a Chinese drone program. So those are two categories being merged into one conversation on purpose. And I want you to think about who benefits from this merger. Because what I believe is that I think, well, I say what I think I believe. I can't stick to one belief, but for now, I think that the government is preparing to tell us that non-human intelligence is real and has been interacting with humanity for however long. I think that this announcement is coming in this window of 2026 to the end of this year or sometime next year. And I believe it's been architected over decades, Project Bluebeam, and we could look at Y-Files and stuff. We might even do that. The Bledsoe briefings to generals was all the way back in 2012. Then you have the Puthoff connection. You have the CIA memoirs, the Vatican's acknowledgement of this. That is a slow, controlled walk toward a moment where someone stands at a podium and says, we are not alone, and we have known for quite some time, and this is the evidence. And where it gets messy is, stay with me on this, this is where I think it gets kind of messy, is within Christian Zionism theology, and I want to be specific because this matters here. There are a specific framework that says that the rebuilding of the third temple in Jerusalem and the political unification of Israel as a sovereign state, this all works together. And that's why Gaza has been so important to all of this whole story. And that's why the United States has backed and never pushed back against any of it. These are prerequisites for the return of the Messiah, or for Christ. So the Messiah would be for Judaism or for Islam or Muslim, and then Christians believe in Christ, right? But before the return of Christ comes the Antichrist, and the beginning of what would be the final battle described in the Revelations. That is not fringe theory. That is the mainstream evangelical doctrine of Zionism, held by tens of millions of Americans and also people around the world, directly shaping U.S. foreign policy in wartime.
Well, I wouldn't refer to Zionism with the scripture, because Zionism is just like an idea. No, but Zionism is just an idea that's connected to the government of Israel having the right to exist, as a Jewish state. Like, once we start getting into the other stuff and talking about scripture, it's just straight religion. You're either talking about,
well, what I'm trying to say is they're using Zionism.
Well, I've been saying that the whole time, that they're using scripture as a movie script, and a lot of the things that they're doing, and that's why I say that they use the chosen people as a shield, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. The outcome, the Zionist belief, whether it's Judaic or Christian, right? What if the Bible is not being fulfilled? What if it's just being performed on behalf of the Zionist belief, right? Because that is a distinction that really changes the whole way that this rolls out. Because you have fulfillment, which means events unfold according to a divine plan or prophetic prophecy, that humans have no control over, even if they are performing it. Maybe they are a part of it because somebody has to do it. So who's going to do it? Maybe humans, maybe not. Maybe they have nothing to do with it. But performance really would say that human actors with access to this script, and specifically what we're just talking about right now, is that they have decided to use that script to produce the play themselves and cast themselves into this starring role. So what we actually know from documented sources is that Christian Zionist theology requires a specific geopolitical condition before the end time sequence can even begin. And then so what you have: a Jewish state in the land of Israel, control of Jerusalem, the construction of the third temple on the Temple Mount. Okay, those are the
sacrificing
prerequisites.
of the red heifer.
Yeah, of course.
Which they did the rehearsals for over the summer, and may or may not have actually done.
That's what I'm saying. Is it just a play, and are they just using the Bible and creating their play around the Bible? Right. So if you are think about it like this: if you are a powerful actor, a government or some type of intelligence service or agent or a network of institutional donors, and you want the population to accept a specific sequence of world events without resistance and without questioning it, without pushing back, what is the single most effective mechanism for doing that?
It's religion. It's always been used to control people.
You give them a book that they all believe in and tell them that it was always going to happen this way, right? So if the population already believes the outcome is written, which it's not just Christians, it's Jews, it's Muslims, it may be in all different ways. Now, Jewish religion is very different from Muslim and Christian, and I covered that on the last live stream. And we can do a little bit of that if we want.
Well, there's also different branches with like some people, they make the mistake of thinking that, like all Jewish people believe the same thing, and that's not really true. There are secular Jews that aren't really practicing. There are, Old Testament Jews that, worship more of the go by more of the Torah. There are the Talmud Jews, which are the ones that, I would be a little bit more concerned about. And then there's Messianic Jews that do accept Jesus and believe that Jesus was the Messiah. So that's one of the reasons why I try to like guide people.
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
that
sorry to interrupt. I'm not trying to go ahead.
No, but I'm saying it's also the same thing with Islam too. Like there are different factions, and like there are levels and layers to it, is what I'm trying to say. Like just because you have a room filled with like 100 Jewish people, they're not all gonna necessarily believe the same thing or follow the same scripture. Same thing with Christians. Same thing with Muslims.
Yeah, for sure. And when we think about, but this is important, right? Like Honey Buns, I know she's being a Jordan right now. We're not talking about the Jews. We're talking about the revelation of the world. And so you don't have to stay. Like, I love you. It's all good. If this conversation is not for you, then you don't have to stay. This is going to be also a lot of information.
When we're talking about the difference is, I think what Danks was trying to, like we kind of may have strayed a little bit, is it's kind of like a chicken before like what came first, the chicken or the egg type analogy, in the sense that, is prophecy really being fulfilled as prophecy in the will of God, or are there people that are just forcing it and it's making things appear that things may happen, when in reality it's like they're just trying to play God and just use scripture as an excuse to do evil shit and go to war and make money and control everybody. And that's kind of like the catch-22 that we're at right now and that we're facing.
And you kind of have to know a little bit, at least, what the beliefs are, what the theology is, in order to understand they are at war with Iran on behalf of the revelation. They're trying to summit, like they have said it. Like our government has said it. They are talking about religious war on news. So they're feeding religious war propaganda to our parents.
Yeah, it's
or
kind of
advancement.
scary when the same people that are covering up the files and all the devil worshippers that may or may not have been sacrificing children to Baal and Moloch are now telling you a couple of weeks later that we're in a religious war.
Yeah, I mean, when you sorry, let me respond to this.
And I'm trying to pay attention to the chat right now. I see what 86 is saying. I've heard this many times, and when they say the kingdom of God is within you, I personally believe that that is what they talk about when they refer to the Holy Spirit. I think that the Holy Spirit is inside of all of us, and that when you find yourself in tune with God and in tune with Jesus, it's almost like you can unlock something inside of you. And it just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I kind of went through it myself a couple of months back, and I have felt like an internal transformation over the past couple of months.
You don't have to be
And
sorry. You don't have to be sorry. I'm just explaining. You're good.
nah,
I can be aggressive in like this fact that like people get so caught up in like what are we talking about that for? And it's because like you know me, I have a reason to talk about the stuff that I'm talking about. It's not because I just want to talk about the Jews. Like what the heck? I don't give a shit about the Jews either. What I do care about is what they believe, with our government believing and like aligning with their beliefs, and then putting our kids, our parents, propagandizing them, taking our kids, putting them into war. Like they're talking about a draft for this shit. So how could we not talk about it? You're like whether it's real or not, or we're being lied to, or this is something that has to be discussed because they're trying to push
well,
people
I
who
think that religion also gets used like our politics and even like with sports to a degree. Like there's a lot of divide and conquer that comes into play. And I feel like a lot of people are falling for it. You know, like I was saying a couple minutes ago when I was referring to like, you know, the different layers and how like you like there are Jewish people all over the world that have their own different sets of beliefs. Same thing with Muslims. When everybody tries to lump each other in categories and then hide behind each other as a shield, it's like you have radical Islam, and then it's like all of a sudden it's like all Muslims are bad. It's like, oh, you have Israel and the files, and then all of a sudden people like screw all the J's. It's like, no, that's wrong. Like we're
right.
all God's children, and we need individual accountability. And like when you realize, like I woke up one day and I realized that like my whole reality was a lie, and my entire education was just a giant indoctrination and brainwashing. And that is a hard pill to swallow. But I was able to come to that realization in my 20s. You know, you have boomers right now that are in their 50s and in their 60s, and people are trying to red pill them, so to speak, or black pill them, whatever term you want to use. And like, imagine being that, you know, being that old and believing certain things and certain like ideologies your entire life. And then all of a sudden you have people bringing real facts, putting it in your face, saying like, no, like everything you ever believed is bullshit. And you need to make a complete 180 right now because this is what's going on. Like that is a really, really hard ask. And it's like people need to realize that. And you also have to realize that, especially when we talk about the Jays, when they grow up hearing that the whole world is against them, and they hear about things that happened during World War II and this and that's their indoctrination, that's their history, that's their reality. And then all of a sudden they have different things come up on the news, and they're watching Fox and they're seeing that spin. It gets reinforced. Like not everybody has access to the same information, and everybody at some time in their life is basically preyed upon for this type of indoctrination. And I think that it's really important that people are aware of that and that they're understanding of that, because you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be trying to like fight these battles and die on these hills for things that they don't even understand.
Yeah, that's the thing is when you're telling people, and before I do want to get to a super chat, I did pull up this comment saying okay, so seems to be from Rumble. We got a Rumbler over there. Forcing God's hand in the game of unintended consequences. God is sovereign and his plan overrides all others. And that's the thing, is why I was saying actors versus prophecy, right? And then he says again, boomers are 60 to 80s. The age separations of gen stuff are not real gens. Which
I'm sorry if I said boomers. I shouldn't have said.
what's okay. No,
Forgive
I mean,
me.
I think boomers are anything over, I think, the age of 42. Am I wrong? Or is there
No, you're wrong.
There's a group after
40s
that,
to
right?
40s to 50s, I think is Generation X, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So
I don't
then
know.
after
I don't know
that,
the exact. You know,
it's like 58 to 80, or like what they said, 60 to
like I
whatever.
didn't even realize I was a millennial until a couple of years back. Someone told me, like, you realize you're a millennial. I'm like, no, I'm Generation X, right? It's like, I don't give a fuck. Whatever.
So let's see what's up, Zero. Thanks for the super, bro. What does this say? It's hard to read. Can the theological narrative be forced into submission to arrive at the preordained citations in biblical texts via human pressure interaction? If the endgame is divine, why would any mortal have any effect on the outcome? That's a good question. Thanks for the super chat, bro. I think that kind of reframes the entire conversation in just one sentence, right? So let me see if I can answer this. So the theological term for what you're describing is what would be called like forcing the end, right? And it's been debated, to my knowledge, inside Jewish and Christian scholarships or scholars or like religious conversations for, I think, hundreds of years, actually, for quite some time, since the New Testament, right? Maybe even longer. The argument goes that if God's plan really is sovereign or like immutable, which means it can't be changed like by anybody, no human action can change it, accelerate it, delay it, manufacture it, then the outcome would be fixed. Mortals are irrelevant at that point to the timeline. So where it would break down in practice is that the people operating this machinery do not actually believe in a sovereign God who controls the outcome. And if you look at the Judaic belief system, from what I've understood so far, especially with the Hasidic Jews or the Maimonides Jewish belief text or the Mishnah, they believe that God is a being that they are aligned with and even with. All right. They believe in, and there's some that believe in a transactional God or a God who responds to conditions being met, a God who is essentially waiting on humans to build the right geopolitical architecture before he makes his big act. And that is not the God of Orthodox Christianity or even possibly Orthodox Judaism, but there are sects of Judaism that believe that. So, and that leads credence to what Bays was saying earlier about the different religious texts and how they believe.
I just want to say that there, you know, this is a reason why I have trouble with these prophecies, is because when you first, like, you go back to the Old Testament and they talk about Adam and Eve, like you're talking Genesis, like right from the beginning, they make it very clear from day one that God gives us free will. And if we have free will, then we have the power to choose. We have the power to decide. So I feel like if we know that, and that is a solidified fact, then to some degree, shouldn't that be countering the prophecy? Unless there are other beings that don't have that free will, that are pulling some strings and working behind the scenes to push it through. But if it's just humans in play and we have free will, then the prophecy should be theology. In my opinion. I could be wrong. Chat, let me know what you guys think.
The revelations in the Bible. I'm putting a poll up in my chat. Go ahead and cast your vote. So the poll says, does the government, global, have an agenda to use the Bible to summon the revelations in the Bible? Do you believe in that? Yes or no? I'd like to know. Leave a comment also with your opinion and vote in the poll. There's 147 of you on YouTube for now. Let's get that cranking. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. I'm getting depressedly suppressed but it's okay. The people that matter are here. But please share this, like it, subscribe if you haven't already, if you'd like to. Now, when we talk about to finish the answer on homie's super chat, that is really a God who has been re-engineered to serve the institution, right? The global institutional apparatus's agenda, right? So that is re-engineering, and it's not by accident, right? That's how I see it. Because a transactional God who waits on a human condition to be met is just a God whose timeline can be controlled by whoever controls the conditions. You convert the divine into a mechanism, and then you turn prophecy into a plan. So to answer that question directly, I say no. A truly sovereign divine outcome cannot be forced by mortal pressure. It's ridiculous to me. And that has never been my opinion. Other than that, in my opinion, has never been any distinction besides we cannot control the outcome. If it does happen by humans creating an action, then it's already been predicted as a prophecy. The goal really is to make the population believe that it's being fulfilled, so they do not resist the human manufacturing conditions of it. If we end up in the revelation because of it, it was because it was scripted through the prophecy. And he already knew, God already knew, the God of the Israelites, which is Christians or those that believe in God, the one true God, Yahweh, I guess you could say, is already written in the Bible, right? So if we are going to take that action, then I think it's only because we are predicted that. They've already predicted that. I wanted to say to Mark, 70-year-old boomer, old boomer, luckily stayed above the mind manipulation all along. I saw that in your subject. You emailed me. I haven't opened it. It was in my phone, bro, and I only saw and I haven't had a chance to go through it.
Oh
I
yeah,
just wanted
Mark.
to know. I don't know if
No,
did
you
he send
finish
you an
first.
email too?
Yeah, Mark. Did you see my email? I emailed you back.
Bro, you don't have to feel whatever it is. I'll read it, but I saw the subject. Bro, we love you, man. I think that you bring tremendous value, even in the short time you were on. So whatever it is that you were worried about, if
No,
that's the
I
case,
if you got the same email that I got, I think he saw. I thought it was just me. I don't know if it was a conversation that we had, but I think he heard one of my rants and thought that I was referring to when he came on the stage the other week for some reason, which was 1000% definitely not the case. But I did email you back about that. I hope that you read it, and if you didn't, please do. And if you want to come back on the stage tomorrow night and talk about it, I would love that too, because we're going to be doing that again. So shout out to Mark. He's a real one.
I have to okay. I had to delete this project for somebody I was doing some work for. Okay. Anyways, I sent the email. Okay, so back to that. Hopefully that answers your question. And Mark, yeah, I was gonna look for your email, bro. Let me see if I can find it. Whatever it is, bro, you don't have to worry, man. We're super chill. You don't have to stress any of that stuff. Mark, let's see if I can find it. I don't know where it's at. I got so many emails, bro, to be honest. But anyways, yeah, you're cool with me, dog. You're good. But
Yeah, me
back
too.
to
Even after that email, we're still good. I promise. Mark gave
when
me the
you,
business.
I mean, I'm talking like I'm really thinking about how this religious war that they've declared, right? They like if we connect these threads and we frame it and see where it lands. You've got the United States government, okay? Let me remove this real quick. So you've got the United States government with officials, active former officials, using the phrase religious warfare or a religious war in public discourse. You've got it all over everywhere. You go type in religious war Iran, you'll see it. And it's not metaphorical, it's not a hyperbole. These guys, these people are using it as literally an operational framework for what is happening in the Middle East. And we have to understand why that language is being used, who benefits from this framing and why they're doing it, and why also it's not an accident, because Iran is not simply a geopolitical adversary. Iran is they are Babylon. All right, they are the Persian Empire. This is my heritage, comes from Persia. They are the final enemy in the script to the Christian Zionist theology of Persia, to my understanding, which is modern Iran. And it appears specifically, I believe, in the book of Ezekiel as part of the Gog, Magog, or whatever coalition that attacks Israel before the divine intervention that triggers the end time sequence. So that is not something I made up. That is the stated reading of the most influential evangelical theologians or theologians in America today. So the ones that have direct access to, like, the Heritage Foundation that I've talked to, that they've claimed they full-heartedly believe in Zionism, to the donor network, which is crazy because the CEO is a Catholic, to their donor network, all right, to the the apparatus that vetted all these government appointees to bring into the bureaucracy. So when you hear a senator or a general or whatever, like a policy architect of some sort, being framed that the conflict with Iran is a religious war, understand they're not describing it as a war. They're announcing a casting decision. That's how I see it. They're telling us, the audience, which chapter of the script that we are in. I don't think that, I believe that it's to do something else. I think that it's not what they say. They're just trying to get us to think that so that they can gain. What has it always been about on my channel? It's about control, surveillance, the implementation of all of that. Okay. And we have the framing of a theological war or religious war, which we have a bunch of actors on stage that are pulling the strings as puppets, all right, or people behind them. And the audience is preloaded to receive this information with the Bible, because 50 years also, you also have 5 decades or longer of Christian Zionism, which has been poured into American churches through the Cofield Bible and other studies. American universities have talked about it, American media. You've got Show Faith by Works. How much have I talked about it with fair filings and building infrastructure, you know, to geofence locations, and then inject into your AI the bias that they want you to believe? They're not being deceived in this moment. Okay. We have been prepared for decades in advance to welcome this moment when it arrives. All right. Especially the Zionists. That is the most sophisticated propaganda operation in the history of the world. I mean, it did not require a single lie. It required a twisting of the information. And then you have, like, it's, this theology has been saturated into every level of American Christian life over the last 50 years. Now, what we were watching earlier, Chris Bledsoe, he led into this perfectly and says that since 2012, this spiritual lady had told him that these people in power are scripted in the revelation to bring about the end intentionally. And I'm going to look for more clip of him talking about that in specific, because I find it quite interesting. When we, what is it? Chris Bledsoe. I'll find it. I know he's on Janet Jones. You want to read the super chat while I look for it?
Sure. Those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Religion has always been used to control. I appreciate you guys, so please don't be upset when I say that your religion is no different.
That doesn't bother me.
Well, I always say...
Can you explain it again? Read it again. What are they saying?
Those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Religion has always been used to control. I appreciate you guys, so please Don't be upset when I say that your religion is no different.
Yeah, I've also believed in that.
I've always said that religion is bullshit. I do believe Jesus is the truth, though.
Yeah, the greatest propaganda machine could be the Bible itself, right? I believe that could definitely be the case. Chris Bledsoe on Daniel Jones. Hopefully there's a shorter. Okay, here's something. Reveals why alien orbs can be so dangerous.
I agree with what Biscuit said. Two things can be true at the same time. There could be a God, and it could be used. Oh, there can be a God, and it could be used to manipulate you. Appreciate all points of view, even if we disagree. I agree with that sentiment 1,000%. And that's why I love working with Danks, you know, and Kelly too, for that matter, and American Discourse and Rogue Dissidents, because we, like, our platforms, it's not an echo chamber. Like, we welcome all beliefs, all religions, all theories. We actually encourage it. Because you're never going to learn anything if you're just always around people that agree with you all the time.
Let's watch this. I found something interesting. Yeah, we have to discuss.
I actually have to go.
Okay.
I've been streaming way longer than I thought. I thought I was only going to be on for an hour. I'm 3.5 hours in, and I got somewhere that I'm supposed to be. But thank you, everybody, guys. If you're in my chat, you just move over to Danks' channel. He's going to keep it going.
Send them over if you know how. If not, it's all right. I can show you sometime.
Yeah, you show me sometime. Can I just put the link in my chat and they click that?
If you go, yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't want to waste time. When you end a stream, you'll have to. I'll have to show you sometime. But yeah, do your thing, bro. I'm gonna run this.
All right, do your thing. Thank you, everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks. I will definitely see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, bro.
Later. Take care.
See you later. All right, so I'm gonna put this up here, and we're gonna show. I haven't seen this, but he makes a prediction, Chris Bledsoe, with, and I'm not at my studio. I still don't have internet. I'm somewhere else, but we're going to News Nation or what's the guy from News Nation? He's been doing all the alien stuff. You guys will know when you see it. This is coverage from somebody else, so we're just gonna see how much. Hopefully it doesn't interrupt anything too much here, and we'll just keep finding the parts. So let's go ahead and show this. Welcome to everybody. I've been going already for multiple hours here and decided to go ahead and take it further and further. So let's go ahead and see what that said.
In a broad sense about
clip number one.
What other things are they telling you in a broad sense about humanity?
That I'll tell you what they told me recently was, and I put this in writing to the Pentagon in 2012 when I told this, okay? And I've told it in my book, and I've told it many times in the last 12 years. One thing she told me was, when you see Iran and Israel exchanging missiles, and I saw it. The way she tells me is a vision of, I see it like a living picture screen. I can see the rockets flying. Then all of a sudden, orbs appeared out of the ocean and everywhere. And I told the government, if this happens, the orbs are going to appear and wake people up and stop it. That's what she told me. December, November, Iran was firing rockets into Israel. Orbs appeared everywhere. The military freaked. And set up drones to muddy the water.
So you think that's a cover-up? I must confess,
100%.
We did 2 specials on News Nation about those supposed drones.
They were ours.
There were
I know
some
for
of ours.
sure they were ours.
I'm pretty sure some were ours, but there were definitely. I spoke to somebody this morning, a police officer in New Jersey.
Right.
And he said, I don't believe the government when it says these are just confused. People are just confused. They saw aircraft. He said, I know what they were. They were anomalous. They were
anomalous. They were not. In fact, the drones were ours. I know they were. For one, a fan called me and said, you won't ever believe what just happened. He had a video of this drone hovering over his house. right? It had the little appendages sticking out. It's blinking. The same ones you see stuff falling out of. He pulls a laser.
Put a U in the chat for UAP or UFO. If you've seen an orb, or just type in orb in the chat. Let me know. Have you seen one? Because I recently saw one. It wasn't an orb. It was a smaller craft that I couldn't really make out. It was at night, and it was in like the city of our town, and there were a lot of lights, and it was leaving a very unique effect, maybe, or signature behind it. It was crazy, and I recorded it, and I can't find the footage. It's so wild. I looked many times. I'd love to know if anyone here has seen an orb or anything like that. I'm going to play this one clip here, and then I have that somebody mentioned, I have the Y-Files interview, and I have some timestamps that I want to check out. So let's get into this. But this is interesting stuff, and I think this is all part of the debate, or not debate, but the build up to something that they're trying to create as some type of manufactured something, right? That's what the Iran war, I believe, is a big part of this.
He's out and shines it on it. 30 minutes later, the FBI comes to his house and charges him. He's being charged with a federal charge right now for shining a light on a drone. He's like, you didn't say what it was. They said it's illegal to shine a light on any aircraft.
And yet the Federal Transportation Secretary, General Glenn Van Herk, the former head of Northcom NORAD,
Here, I'll just go ahead and move straight over to the Wi-Fi. So, all right, here we go. Oops.
Today, I'm talking with Chris Bledsoe, a North Carolina businessman who, in 2007, was facing the end of everything. His company had collapsed, he was dying from Crohn's disease, and he went down to the Cape Fear River with his teenage son and 3 of his workers to fish. What happened next changed his life. And honestly, it's one of the most unusual cases in modern UFO history. Chris and all 5 witnesses experienced multiple orbs, creatures with glowing red eyes, and a massive tic-tac-shaped craft, and 4 hours of missing time. Chris came home healed from his Crohn's disease.
4 hours of missing time, and he came back healed? Meanwhile, I lose 4 hours on TikTok and come back with carpal fin.
And here's where it gets interesting. Since 2007, senior officials from the CIA, NASA, and even the Vatican have been quietly investigating him. Former CIA...
This is an interesting comment. I don't believe the meteors are really organic coming from space. So real quick, I wouldn't mind actually talking about this. So do you remember when 3i Atlas first came into our atmosphere? And if anybody remembers, in that time, there was this YouTube channel that was talking about radio frequency bands, all right? And I started taking his transcript, and I was coding out using the frequency bands, because I took the transcript, and then I went and I found the frequency bands, and I had my AI system do all of the mathematics around the physics and then the bands and the frequency, and then I was able to draw up. Gosh, I wish I still had it. It was on my old X account that I deleted. Foolishly, I deleted it. But it shaped like a big craft that looked like a shark. It was wild. It was like big in the back and then narrowed in the front, like a big ass craft, which was insane. All right.
Officer Jim Semivin wrote the foreword to his book. A NASA engineer spent years trying to debunk him and couldn't.
Oh, NASA tried to debunk him, huh? That's their tell, human. When NASA tries to debunk you, you're over the target.
I agree. We're going to talk about the encounter, the healing, the beings, and the entity Chris calls the Lady, a divine feminine presence that's been appearing to him since 2012.
Yeah, at least she's bringing him healing. Whenever a feminine shows up at my door, she's usually bringing legal documents.
Okay, let's get back to work. This one goes places you don't expect. I really enjoy the conversation. Let's go down to the basement. Chris, thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me, AJ.
I'm so excited.
Me too. It's my honor. Been a big fan for a long time.
Oh, don't say that. You don't have to say that.
I have been.
So, so if you know my show, and I'm just going to recap this for the audience. At the end of the Y-Files, I do a segment, debunking and analysis. I don't do that here. This is about telling the story and just kind of exploring your experiences. So if you feel any pushback, this isn't a gotcha show. Right. We're going to talk about your story. I guess it all starts at the river.
Yeah.
What brought you to the river?
It actually started before the river.
Okay.
And let's back up to about 2001 when the World Trade Center disaster happened. At that time, I'd been in business nearly 20 years and building upwards of 100, 120 or 30 houses every year. And it was one of the biggest builders in our county and one in the state.
All right. Sorry for that. My dog's been crazy. Let me fast forward to this part right here. Advertising. I'll mute myself.
Took two more steps, and when I did, I could see a wider periphery. I said, dang, that don't look like the sun. That's really weird. It was fire going around this thing. So I looked down, took two more steps, and when I did, I could see a wider peripheral because, I got trees on either side, and the higher up I get, the more my view spread. There was another one sitting right beside it that I didn't see to start with. So now I've got two huge balls of fire.
How far away are they?
They were probably 300 yards.
Okay, good ways away.
200 feet in the air, sitting right above the trees, and just this flame going around them, and these little tips of fire was shooting off of these things. So I immediately froze. I'm a commercial rated pilot. I knew what I was looking at wasn't anything from us at all. And I'd never really studied UFOs. I was dealing with 4 children in sickness, right? And so it scared me. And I squatted down. I actually got down on my stomach and I'd raise my head up and look above the hill because I've still got some more hill in front of me. And I'd look at it and I was just mesmerized, but I started getting worried. Oh, my son's down the hill. I need to get back down there, tell him what I'm looking at. And the minute I decided to run, I had it in my thoughts, I'm going to run. So I turned my body, and I'm looking back behind me at it, and I stood up to run. And the minute I stood up to run, right up here above me, another one appeared and shot down right in front of me. And at that moment, AJ, I knew that it knew what I was thinking. I knew that it saw me, and I felt like I was captured. I was a lab rat. I didn't know what to think. It was just overwhelming knowing that this thing, I was on its radar. That's when it all changed, when it came at me.
You're a hunter, and now you're on the other side.
Yeah. That's a good explanation.
So you knew it was watching you. Was that like an animal instinct, or did you hear it, feel it?
I didn't know it was watching me. The two I was looking at, I thought I was, hiding from this thing, but I was thinking, I got to run. Oh my God, what am I looking at? So I'm thinking, and the minute I go to run, this other one appeared, and I knew immediately that it knew that I was going to run, and it wanted, and it knew, and it was my thoughts, and I couldn't get away. It was the first thing I knew it. I mean,
what's crazy is, and philosophically, this has been questioned, right? Is that we operate our entire civilization on the assumption that the interior of the human mind is essentially private and nobody can. Stop! Hey! Stop! Cut it out! I can't even. My parents' dogs are just out of control. Cut it out.
But luckily, they wiped my memory. So I had that moment of fear, and then all of a sudden, oh my God! And then the lights went out.
Just everything just
went out dark. And so the next thing I realized, I'm walking up to the fire. I don't remember leaving at the top of the hill. I don't remember any of that. I just remember the last 50 or so feet going up to the fire. So I'm walking in the dark. They can't see me coming. And these 3 guys are standing at the campfire. They're not fishing no longer. They're standing there, and the fire's burnt down to very little fire. And I left. It was a pretty good sized fire. And it scared them bad when I snuck up on them. Right? And I'm like, guys, you won't believe what I just saw. They're like, where have you been? So I was just up at the hill. I've been gone for 20 minutes. And they're like, no, you've been gone all night. And we've been looking for you all night. I said, well, where's Chris Jr.? He wasn't there. And so they said, well, he went back in the cul-de-sac where you went earlier today looking for you. While we took your truck and drove up and down the road. And one guy stayed at the fire the whole time. And so I
Hey,
panicked.
cut it
My son's
out.
down in that forest, and it
Stop.
goes for 50
Right
miles to
now.
Wilmington, and there's very little to nothing in there. So I was just dreaming he was lost, and then,
Sure.
So I panicked and took off running, ran to the back of the cul-de-sac where I'd gone in that day, and he knew where I'd gone because he'd watching me all the time. And I cried out to him. I started shouting for him, and nothing. Couldn't hear anything. So I started making my way into the forest. I got about 10 feet in there, and I heard him getting up off the ground. He was laying on his stomach underneath these real thick shrubs. And he come up, and he was in tears, and he's like, "Oh my God, Daddy, why'd you leave me?" And I said, "I didn't leave you, son. I just walked up to the field. I've been gone 20 minutes." He said, "No, you've been going all night. We've been looking." So I'm like, "Oh my God, what's happening?
What happened? Right.
What's happened?" But I wasn't scared anymore.
You weren't.
Not at all. From that point forward, it was like amusement. My son is freaked out. He's in shock. These three guys are in shock, or they're terrified, right? So I drag him back to the fire. They hadn't displayed that yet, but shortly they will. So I took Junior back to the fire where they were standing, and they're very quiet because I was telling them about this ball of light I saw at the top of the hill. And Chris Jr.'s talking about this creature that he had seen coming from a quarter mile away. The road at the end of the cul-de-sac is a quarter mile, and then it makes a left up, which is only 1/8 of a mile, right? So he sees this light come out in the road way down at the end, a red glowing light. He thought it was a camera, a flashlight.
So he gets into more of the orb stuff, and then there is he starts talking about the Iran-Israel prophecy somewhere around 1 hour or so. I think it's like right around here.
Nolan told me that it probably was a reprieve from the Crohn's, and it came back as RA.
Could be.
I went to Chapel Hill.
But
At
there's
Chapel Hill, I have the paper. I'll share with you. It says there's absolutely no
I believe you.
Marcus.
And this healing ability, unbelievably, you have shared with others.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because when I say share with others, I don't mean a boy in your neighborhood. I mean,
Right.
You've been summoned to the White House. And
Yeah. Well,
I don't know Chris Jenner, but I've spent time chatting with her, and we had dinner. It's in the same dinner area, and like my mom and her and me and Chris Jenner and Courtney. This was like when Kim was still with the football player that released that video. But yeah, it's kind of funny that they're talking about her, right?
that was part of what she gave me when she came in 2012.
Did it start with Nellie?
It started with my dog, Nellie, yeah. And believe it or not, she came back in 2013. It didn't happen the first year in 2012. 2013, she came back. And she told me on 2013 about the thing with Iran and Israel. So it was 2013 is when I first got that information. And that's the year that I was asked to put it in writing to the Pentagon.
What did she see between Iran and Israel?
She said, when you see Israel and Iran begin to exchange missiles, and I saw them in vision, they give you telepathic, you see, it's like looking at a television, really. That's what it kind of looks like. She said, when you see these happen, that's when we're going to come in and we're going to start waking up the population. We're going to reveal ourselves, which will change the consciousness of people. So all this new knowledge is about disclosure. It's about consciousness, and they're going to make it happen because it tames people. It opens us up. It turns us into psychic beings. It gives us power. A lot of things this does.
All right, we'll get back to that in a little bit. Can you just start with Nellie? It's such a touching story. Then what happens from?
So this is how this went down. 2013.
And there are pictures of all of this.
Yeah, there's witnesses, a lot of witnesses. So 2013, Easter, she comes. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after Easter, this journalist, UFO is a UFO researcher out of Canada, good friend of mine, a guy I really have a lot of liking for, is Grant Cameron. Grant is on the way from Congress. They were doing this mock Congress thing in Washington, and he calls me. He says, I'm going to Florida to do an event down there and would love to stop on the way and visit you. I said, why don't you come stay the night? He says, okay. Comes, he stays 2 days. He goes to Florida. He calls me on the way back, and he's like, man, can I just stop back by? I'd like to at least take pictures of the burning tree. I didn't get to do that while I was there. And so
the burning tree?
Yeah, that's something else that happened right after the lady come. I'll show you this. I have the video of it.
There's so many biblical connections to the story.
Yeah, true. It's a true story. We have it on video. And I'll get back to Grant and Nellie, right?
Yeah.
So in October of 2013, October that year, no, October of 2012, not 13, 2012, because Grant come on 2013, right? October of 2012, right after the lady comes, she came in April. Here it is, October. It had been raining for 2 days. My wife and I and children were living next to my dad on a 6-acre property.
So he goes into the whole story, which we watched earlier. Let's see what this replay part is.
Reported it. Jim Semivan told me that he knew the very minute that I reported it.
Because some would say MUFON and the government have a little
It's
bit of
all the same.
It's all the
It's a
same.
data gathering apparatus. That's all they do is they gather data, and they use volunteer people to do it. So you get a sighting, they ask you, hey, AJ, since you had that sighting, you want to become an investigator for MUFON? Yeah, and it's exciting, right? And they can tell.
Thanks for the super chat. Danks, I recommend Mama Jama Lama. What's up? Danks, I recommend you read The Lights in the Sky and Little Green Men, a rational Christian look at UFOs and extraterrestrials by Hugh Ross. All right, I'll put it on my list. I just typed it in right here. I took a screenshot as well. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
if
you for the
you're,
super chat.
you're like Richard Dreyfuss,
Sure.
you'll fall for it every time. And they tried to give me a training manual, but I never, because what happened next was terrible. This is 2008, February. By March, they had 6 or 7 investigators at my house all the time, and they were convincing me to do a documentary on Discovery. We're going to vindicate you. This was a month, 2 months after I met them. They already had it in place. By June, they had the whole thing shot, and I was determined to prove myself that, I saw this, it really happened, and the community said, no, it didn't. You're dealing with the devil. Long story short, it backfired.
Yes, it did. MUFON did a hit job on you.
Yeah.
And what everyone points to is that you didn't pass the lie detector test,
Right.
which on my channel, I tell everybody that those things do not work.
Right.
But what's not emphasized is you pass a psychiatric exam perfectly.
Yeah.
A perfectly sane man.
Yeah. And the lie detector was a farce. They gave me 34 questions. You're only supposed to have 3 or 4 questions,
Right.
But they asked me 34 over and over for 2 hours. And it was an abusive thing. The whole thing was abuse. They came in and filmed this show. And I write about this in the book, where my little children were so excited Hollywood's coming, right? My daughter's 10, 11 years old. Here they come. And they got these assistants going.
I'll teach you right now, for sure. And it's something that they don't teach in school, obviously, right? Is that the polygraph test is not a lie detector test. Like, it's not a lie detector. This is truth, right? The official position of the national official, the National Science Academy or whatever, they published this review in 2003, I think it was, concluding that the polygraph test has very limited scientific validity. And it's like 50-50 in some cases. Chris Bledsoe, he had a documented neurological block, to my understanding, so severe that any attempts to consciously recall it caused him to pass out in front of investigators. And this happened multiple times. His wife confirmed it as well. So when a Harvard-trained psychiatrist, specifically trained under the likes of John Mack, and a Pulitzer Prize-winning Harvard professor who spent his career studying contact experiences, when that psychiatrist came in and spent weeks carefully removing that block through clinical hypotheses or hypnosis, only then was Bledsoe able to actually think about the event without losing consciousness. So they had to bring in a psychiatrist or like hypnosis to actually remove the blockages. And so this stuff ended up happening. But now my stepdad's calling in. Here, I'll keep playing this. Hey.
Around a lot like your staff, they're working
Yeah.
to support the thing, and they come and they take my kids' orders for dinner, or they're going to send out for dinner. And we were all, they're all in my house. They took my whole house over. There's 17 people in their crew,
My whole house is rearranged, couches moved, furniture, cameras. They go out and get dinner. Took our order.
Yeah.
When they got back, kids
I'm gonna like
went to the table and they didn't have any food for us. And the producer said, "Well, you guys weren't in the budget."
Wow.
So they sat there in my house, ordered food, and ate without feeding us. And I knew then I was in a mess.
Yeah, and then went and aired a hit job on you.
Yeah. So that's the kind of thing that happened.
And is that where the government?
Well, the government, Jim said he knew immediately it was a hit job.
Yep.
Felt sorry for me. And he said, I could never talk to you until I retired from CIA. But once I overtly retired, then he's the first one I met.
Wait, this is Jim
Simivan.
Jim Simivan, yeah. Who wrote the foreword on your book.
Yeah.
So this is a senior CIA official.
Yeah.
When did you first meet him?
I met him in 2013, right after the healing. But the first government person I met was Dr. Hal Puthoff out up there, and it looks like a flying saucer with laser beams.
Yes, it does.
How did they know?
So he meets this. So there's like shadow government building bunkers, right? And he kind of goes into this here. I think this whole thing is interesting, right?
Iran and Israel go to exchanging missiles, then the orbs will start appearing out of the sea, out of the land, out of the sky. And
thank you, Steve. Stephen Dixon. I love your show with the $7.99 APAC money, A-bucks. Hey, I'm just kidding. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love this show too. And I love that you're here. I appreciate the super chat.
They were firing at one another in November. And what happened in November, December? Orbs appeared everywhere, so the government freaked out. And they started sending their own drones out, big ones, and leave them for days hanging around. All that was done to confuse the people.
So you're a pilot.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I've been shown from another pilot, a note hammer.
My bad. I'm like all playing this. Nobody says anything. Why are you guys telling them? Nobody said anything in the chat the whole time. You guys are just like chatting away, aren't you? All right, here we go.
Report that showed in advance all these areas where drones would be. But the government never told us that. They never said, relax, we got it. It's us. They kept us confused and frightened.
Right.
And what would be the purpose of that? Why frighten the population?
I'll tell you why. Because I was sitting in a restaurant with some people from the Pentagon and some Congress and others in the Capitol Grill in Washington, D.C. this past summer. And after that happened with it was in this year. The thing happened in November, right? December, but this past summer.
Yep.
And or spring. It was not too far after that we were meeting. And they wanted to know my opinion about this. I said, I told you, you start shooting missiles with Iran, you're gonna get it. And they're like, oh my God, this is catastrophic disclosure. So that term was coined with me sitting at a meeting with these people back this year. So they don't want that to happen. They don't want to lose control of the people. They're afraid if they push the button too far, it's going to come down here and wake us all up and take over. They're worried what's going to happen.
And then they lose their power, their control.
Continuity of government.
Continuity of government. So this all points back to the DOD and the Pentagon.
That's exactly what's going on. So they backed off of Iran. They quit shooting at one another.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing settled down, but it didn't stop. The minute we put F-35s in Poland,
yep,
they started shutting down airports over there.
Mm-hmm.
The orbs did, not drones.
The orbs did.
They're orbs.
If there were a nuclear war, do you think these orbs would stop it? They would stop it.
Yeah.
Because we know that they have shut down nuclear facilities.
They told them, you keep pushing these buttons, we're going to expose you. We're going to stop it. And they keep warning them that.
Are the orbs themselves craft or are they beings?
Both.
They're both.
Because they're I say both.
And I'm not going to stick on this topic too much longer because I do want to cover some current events. So I'm going to do this a little bit more. I think we're going to get through this last clip. I think there's one more. Where are we at? 137. I think that's the October 7th incident he talks about in Egypt. Let me jump to that because he does talk about, I think he let me see what it says here. Is it that or Egypt? Let me check. 2 hours in. What is this?
And I got Hal. Now Hal's my best friend, and he had the David E. Lard Award for 50 years.
Yeah, I think that we've hit most pieces. I just wanted, the reason why I bring this up is because I want to talk about the what's happening in the world today during this war that they're calling this, like they are hiding the truth. right? They're lying to us about, they're trying to tell us one thing, but it's turning into something else, right? And that's what keeps happening. That's what I see happening. First, it was that we got to stop the nukes. Well, we already destroyed their systems back in last summer. So then it comes from that to we got to save the people. But then we rain destruction down on everything and kill civilians, allegedly. So it's not about the people. Then they pivot to a religious war. So we can't, like, how, so we're being lied to. All right. It's just that they're not good enough at lying to stick with the same timeline, the same lie. They have to keep advancing it or changing the lie because their motives aren't pure. It's not like Joe Kent, he said it perfectly, is that if it was imminent, which means they are going to attack us and it's going to happen very soon, then we would be forcing, our hand would be forced. However, it's not imminent if dude, Tucker, he shows Mike Huckabee cheesing super hard at this conversation. And if you guys see this, bro, I think it's in this one right here. Let me pull it out. Right here. I'll pull this up. He talks about Mike Huckabee cheesing so hard. Was it this one? I hope it was this one. Let's see. Where was it? Was it this one? Maybe it was a different one. Who was it that was cheesing something? Let me see if I can find it. Maybe it was before that. Let me check. Tucker. No, I'm going to be looking for this. Tucker Carlson, Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee in Israel. Okay, so this, it was Barron actually, and he was saying it was a good point, and I'll just play it and I'll kind of repeat some of the talking points that Barron mentioned because I thought it was quite interesting. Was the audio
to come and make sure you were okay?
Okay, so this person, Mike Huckabee, can you guys see? I have one screen, so I'm working very limited here. Mike Huckabee, when you see someone, Barron, I think it was Barron. I hope it was. He made some great, whoever it was great points saying, bro, you work for us. And when you see the way this dude talks with Netanyahu, look at this face. I'm so glad he said this, bro. I am so glad. When you look at the cheese face this freaking dude's got, this is like a kid with a celebrity that he's admired his whole life. And he works for us with this fake ass AI.
Yes, Mike. Yes, I'm alive.
I checked that, and I'm happy to see that. But he wanted to make sure because, you guys get along too well.
I know, and we shake hands with 5 fingers in each hand. But I have to tell you, I'm alive, but I have this card.
Oh.
And yeah, don't read it. So it's a punch card.
And then Barron goes to say, well, read it. You work for us. Don't read it. He just turns away like, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't know.
Oh, come on.
Mr. Prime Minister, I wanted you to know.
I'm alive, but I have this card.
Oh.
And yeah, don't read it.
Look at this guy. He's a slave to these guys, bro. To this dude. This is embarrassing, bro. The guy, he's got an American flag. What are you doing, bro?
So it's a punch card.
This is a punch card. Listen to how he talks about this punch card.
Today, I erased 2 names on the punch cards. And you see how many more to go on this batch.
You know what the good news is? My name is not on the punch card.
My name is not on the punch card, bro. And then shakes the dude's hand. Look at this, like this cheesy ass smile, bro. You are, in my opinion, all I'm gonna say is I think this is some traitor ass shit. Unless he's playing 5D chess. Maybe that's the game. 5D chess, be on the inside, do a little this and that. But bro, when you meet with someone like Tucker Carlson and you have these conversations and constantly defending their country instead of our country, what does that say? And then they're talking about a punch card and he's taking out these people. Bro, you've got to be kidding me, right? Hey, did I just find a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4? Well, there's only 3 fingers here, unless he's pointing his finger there. No? Where's the other finger? And why does this? Oh my gosh, you guys, this looks like AI. This looks like one finger as part of the AI image. This is AI, dude. Bro, this is AI. Look, I'm going to show you guys. I wish I could get a more clear image. Watch this. Holy smokes. This is definitely AI. Okay, I fucking seen this, bro. Look at this. Check this out. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show you right now, bro. Check this out. Save image, PNG, Cuckabee AI, netting. Watch this. You're going to see it. I wish I could see the chat. Yeah, I'm snipping and zooming it. You ready? Are you ready? I'm so glad that I did this. I saw this. Only because I'm looking for it. Check it out, chat. Tell me that's not AI, bro. Thumb to finger. Right here. The whole thing. It's meshing into the sleeve. I mean, the hand meshes together, bro. Look. I mean, am I tripping or is this a trick on the eye? Let me see. Right here. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. I mean, it meshes together right here. There's no separation right here, especially. What do you guys think? Did you watch the guy in the back? Look at the dude's hand. Bro, you can't tell me this isn't AI, dude. Let me ask AI real quick. let me ask another AI system. Hold on. Let's do this. How are we gonna do this? Should we go on? Should I just post it or should I ask Grok first? Let's ask Grok. Does this look like an AI image? I see that the hand and the finger, thumb, wrist section looks conjoined. Tell me your thoughts. Bro, it looks like AI. Yes, this image does show several strong signs that it's likely AI generated. And the specific issue you notice with the hands, fingers, thumb, wrist area is one of the largest red flags. The most obvious problem is that the interlocking clasping area of the handshake, the hands appear to be merged or conjoined unnaturally where they meet, instead of a clear, separate fingers gripping each other. Bro, nobody said this, right? Chat, we are putting this shit out right fucking now. What's the best way? How do we do this on Grok? Do we like share this like this? Post link? No. Discard. Share. Copy. Share conversation. I think I just copied this, right? Let's just copy it and make a post. Copy text. profile. Let's do this. I'm gonna make a post real quick. Hold on. I do it in my AI system. I have a whole thing for it. AI posting on create an X post with this information. This is what I'll use to make it faster, so I don't waste you guys' time. And I'll make this faster. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here forever like I usually do, typing this shit up. Boom. Boom. Oh my gosh. Wow. This is wild, you guys. Caught him. Caught Yeah, bro. Crazy, no? Look. I mean, maybe. I don't know, maybe. But this looks like it's just one image, bro. And then there's only 3 fingers here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Like the only thing is his finger could be right here. There are only 4 fingers as well. All right, here we go. We'll have this with that. Wow. This is wild, bro. So should I post just the one AI generated image alert? Here, let's do this. I'll just make, because let me read the chat, what you guys are saying. Danks already proven. Oh, already proven? Oh, really? Damn, I thought we did something new. I know that there's a lot of different ones. 3 ear canals. Look at this big ass ear, bro. I haven't seen that. You said it was proven. Mic face. Yeah, but I'm talking about specifically this part, but more, we could say more evidence. Here, let's do this. Right here. We'll do that instead. So I don't want to be like I'm breaking ground if I did it, but this is definitely more evidence. His left peaky is in his bum. Bro, what a clown bag, bro. This is so crazy. Plenty of issues to find these. Yeah, there's so many. That's great. Here, let's just post it real quick and we'll keep it moving. Where we at? More and then okay, let's do that. Post this. Then post the image itself. Just the whole thing. Right? Oh man. I'll post the second here. Let me switch it so it'll go like this. Let me take a better one. Space. That. Oh, I guess we'll just leave that like that. That's good. Train your eye. Sound off in the comments. I'm going to share it with you guys if you want. That'd be cool if you want to share it. In my opinion, well, actually, Grok's opinion, specifically on the handshake. Let's tag Grok, actually. At Grok. There we go. Post. I'm gonna share it with you guys. How do I share this? I'll put it in the chat. Crazy, bro. That was a wild slip up. But yeah, look at this dude cheesing so hard, bro. But there's been content that's come out today. I haven't seen anything. I've been live streaming all day. Like, I want to see this this one right here with the prophetic. What time is it? 2:22. Oh, I love that time. 2:22. Oh, it equals 6. Never mind. 2:22 equals 6. You get to see my timeline here. What's up with the chat? How you guys doing? We hanging in, chat? We hanging in there? Let's look together. Let me know if there's anything you see you want to look at. You cover a little bit. James Lee, has he got anything? Let's see what James Lee's got. Just moved over from YouTube. What's up, bro? Oh, you're gonna share it or what? Moved over to share it? You're all in. Yeah, we could just hang out, bro. You watched what? James Lee. Oh yeah, James Lee's always very good, for sure. We saw the bombshell. Yeah, he already did that. Let's go back to my timeline here. George Webb, what do I think? I've got mixed feelings. I don't think that, I don't know. I've heard people say he's like an operator and stuff. Like, I don't know. I used to watch him when I first started making content. What's funny is I went into George Webb's chat and I was like, hey, I threw a super chat. And I was like, hey, what's up, big fan? And I was with my daughter. It was like, hey, me and my daughter say hi. You know, good morning. It was like 5:30 in the morning. And like the chat went crazy because it was the first time I had really come onto any video live stream where there was like a bunch of other people that had seen my content. It was like the Erica Kirk GGLF video. And then I made another video after that about the insurance and the money and all this. And the chat was just going crazy about Danks. And so I think he just banned the word Danks. And then I wasn't able to talk in the chat. And then he ended up following me after all that, which is wild. But I don't hold any feelings to him. Like I've said, I don't think it's cool that people are like hard shilling someone in the chat. But that I just came to say hi. Expose hundreds of millions in fraud. I always like to see what PBD and them have to say, bro, because it's a perfect example of seeing what they are trying to push down our throats. He is being used as proposition for us. What's up, Marie? Good to see you again. I noticed the AI makes smooth faces with yellowish skin like they have renal disease. The Galileo video is the same. You're right. I've noticed that as well. And it's just way too smooth, bro. Like, what does he have? Makeup on? It's like a full body suit of makeup. Discoloration. His nose does not look like this, bro. These are not two humans. This looks like Charlie Kirk in the casket. That's what it looks like. Let's bring it up. Charlie Kirk casket photo. Look at these. Look at this coloration. All right. We're just going to open this image in a new tab. And then what we'll do is we'll zoom in and then we'll look at this together. And then we will come over here and we'll zoom in. Look at the coloration. We could even zoom out a little bit to get both. Look at the coloration. Okay. And then look at this. And if you zoom in, it's like the same texture, right? It's like this hard, fake looking, bro. What? These are supposed to be eyelids. Get out of here, bro. No way. Let me go over here. This goes all the way to the top. Let's see what they talk about about Joe Kent. I'm curious. Let's see what they said.
With Joe Kent. Is that okay? Let me read that one and we'll open it up. Trump counterintelligence chief who resigned over war in Iran under investigation.
I'm a big fan. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. I'm a big fan of watching. Like, I'm subscribed to the White House, bro. I need to know what they are talking about. You feel me? Because, and also I used to be a fan of PBD and I like his takes, but he is obviously pushing a specific agenda at this point. That is my opinion. And some people are like, why do you watch him? Bro, you have to be a fool not to pay attention to what people that don't agree with you are saying. You would have to be a fool. You have to know what they are trying to push so that we can understand their motives and then we can react. We can actually see it, use the information we know, and in return, be able to understand what they're actually talking about and the agenda behind it. It's not just because, oh, I love to watch BBD. Like, no. But I do like the content, and he has some good takes. Like, I'm not the type of person to ever say one thing unless there's just somebody I really don't like. Like it's so funny. Even Kyle Kalinske, I think his name is. I even think he has some funny takes, bro. I think he's a fucking idiot. But, you know, I can see the good and the bad in everything, and even in myself. I don't think I'm perfect. But there are obviously people that are much more ridiculous. So let's see what they say about Joe Kent. This is very, very curious. Oh yeah, Lauren Mortician. I've seen the video. I have seen the video.
Investigation for leaking. Okay, so we have a bunch of things.
Whoa, hold on. Tony Lapidus does an impression. I'll look it up while we watch this.
On this, so guys, be ready because I'm gonna come to you. And Vinny, I'm probably coming to you first. Okay.
I got it.
What page is that, Rob?
Vinny.
Page 16. It doesn't match page 16, Rob, the story. So if you're
Page 15, Trump counterintelligence
okay.
chief.
So let me go to page 15. So the former counterintelligence chief who resigned over the ongoing conflict with Iran is reportedly under investigation at FBI. Joe Kent, who issued a scathing letter of the resignation, national counterterrorism, has been.
Let's get a little bit of a laugh in here. I don't know who this person is, so let's check it out. I'll subscribe. Actually, let's wait. Let's see how good it is.
So, first of all, President Trump, I just want to say, as somebody who was born in Iran, grew up in Iran, and fled Iran, thank you for taking out Khamenei. I just want to say thank you for that, guy.
Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. And, when you think about it, I actually did it for you. I remember you saying, Patrick, that you didn't like him. You said, the way he's been with you and your family and your people. And I gave the order. I said, this is for Patrick.
So that's what I wanted to ask you about, guy. When the American Air Force takes out a leader like...
He's actually kind of good, bro.
Khamenei, what exactly is the movements of the planes, guy?
He needs a little bit of a deeper voice. Like, if I tried it, I'd probably be able to nail it.
Yeah, those big, beautiful American planes. I mean, they did a job, the likes of which the world has never seen, quite frankly. And it's not even close. And I called BB. I said, BB, I'm trying to take credit for that, BB. That was our technology, BB.
So I'm a maneuvers guy. I like maneuvers, right? So what I want to know is when the planes are approaching the compound in Tehran before they pull the trigger, did the planes have to go up a little bit?
They went more up than any plane's ever been up, actually, when you think about it.
Then did they have to go down a little bit?
They had to come down very low, actually, in a way that so low nobody even thought that was possible.
And so before they actually pull the trigger, does the lead pilot have to give the command, all right, stop?
Well, I really don't know where you're going with this, Patrick. You want to go up?
Bro, I could watch this all day, bro.
want to go down. And all I know is that Khomeini, he died like a dog, just like Soleimani, who I also whacked for you, by the way.
So I watched your statement to the nation on the day of the attack. Rob, could you pull that up? And what I want to know is you were saying how they wanted to make a deal, that they didn't want to make a deal. Can you explain that a little bit? Yeah.
Well, he just tried to play tough guy. I mean, 1 minute he wanted a deal, the next minute he didn't want a deal. I said, you don't have the cards for this. He said, I have the cards. I have a straight. I said, what do you mean you have the straight? He said, we have the Straits of Hormuz. I said, I'll tell you what. I have a flush. It's called obliterating your navy. And then we'll see how strong your straight is, right? And now he's dead like a dog.
So I see a lot of the vitriolic attacks on you online. I don't know if you had Dave Smith, for example. He called you a traitor the other day. Rob, maybe you want to pull that up. You have other influencers like Tucker Carlson, who they don't mention you by name, but he's got a lot to say about you. You see that, right?
No, I don't pay attention to them at all. I mean, their ratings are way down without me. These are sick people. They're sick people. They hate our country. I mean, Dave Smith, he's a stupid person. He's just a stupid person. Very simple. And Tucker, I don't know.
He does Trump really good, bro.
What happened to him, but he reminds me of Elon Omar, never happy. And think of it. I ended.
Does he have okay.
Andrew Tate, you get into headlines and all over.
All right, we're about to get sucked into a rabbit hole. Fuck it. Let's go. You want to do more of this? Just type in the chat. If you want to do more of this, I'll do another one or two. Let's keep it going if that's the case. He does a Tucker one? Okay. We'll look for Tucker after this one.
Over social media about a song that was played in your presence at the request of somebody in a car and then again at a club. So I'm not even saying that it was you, guy. But what do you have to say about that?
In the club, I was not seen to be dancing, and in the club.
Oh my gosh, bro. Dude, look at this guy. Ali G looking mother. Okay. Oh my goodness, bro.
Guy. But what do you have to say about that?
In the club, I was not seen to be dancing, and in the car, I was not actually even seen in the frame. I believe that as a man, you have to take absolute and utter responsibility and accountability. And I do not want to start throwing people under the bus, but I believe that it was Sneeko who put the song on.
So hear me out, guy. If you invite me to a club, you know that I'm not going to be going to that club, right?
And I would never invite you to a club because that would be absolutely and utterly asinine.
I'm not even blaming you for the song. What I'm asking you is, why did you ever even have to go to a club?
You have to understand that I did not want to go to the club. But Nick Fuentes had never been to a club. There was a palpable sense of peer.
If you know this story, bro, because I've seen all the sides of it. I've seen the Nick Fuentes side. I've seen the Sneeko side. I've seen the fucking Andrew Tate side. And if you don't know the story, Andrew Tate was with Sneeko and Nick Fuentes, and Nick Fuentes had never been to a club apparently. And so they were like, let's go to the club, let's live stream it, this and that. So, and they were like, they were in Miami, and they were like, let's go with Andrew Tate. By the way, look at this freeze frame. That's epic. So they're like, let's go to this club with Andrew Tate, and then we'll be like the shit, right? We'll be with the ballers and because obviously they're not like the cool kids for the club, right? You go to Nick Fuentes by yourself, you might get jumped, bro. You know what I mean? Or maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, they go to the club, and Andrew Tate is with them. And then they put on Heil Hitler in the club. And then it was this media backlash about Andrew Tate supporting the song of Kanye, Heil Hitler, and had to do this whole thing. And he went on interviews talking about it. It's freaking hilarious, bro.
Peer pressure in the room, particularly from Sneeko, who kept telling me that Nick Fuentes has never been to a club. And I thought to myself, all right, I have not been to a club in many years. I never go in London or in England, particularly because I cannot walk around the street with a watch on without getting stabbed.
See, but this is where I don't understand. I see you as a leader of man. So if you're a leader of man, why didn't you say to those people, I'm not going to a club, and B, I don't want to be associated with that song. You better turn it off now, guy.
Nick Fuentes had never been to a club. What was I supposed to do? Tell everybody to give me their phones and that they're not allowed access to the Spotify? Absolutely and utterly not.
I'm not even telling you who to hang out with, who not. I don't believe in that. But you knowingly go out with these people. Why do you do that even though they say a lot of racist things, guy?
Because Myron is my friend, and that does not mean that I agree with all the stupid shit that he said.
Okay, what's next?
So, first of all, President Trump, I just want to say, so Douglas, first of all, thank you for coming on the podcast. I know
Where's
So President
does he have a-
Trump, you
he
said
he
that
has
you
a-
didn't want to go.
He has a Tucker one. Let me see. Let's watch the Tucker one, and then we'll go watch the real PBD after this. All right, here we go.
So President Trump, thank you so much for coming on my podcast. Finally, I saw this morning that you called me kooky, which even for me, that's a new one. But really, I mean, I wasn't quite sure how to interpret that one. Actually, I mean, so what was that?
Well, yeah, I did actually. That's right, I did. Because you are a little bit kooky these days. I don't know what the hell happened to you. You seem totally okay and relaxed with the idea of radical regimes having nuclear weapons. We're not going to let that happen, Tucker.
No, I don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. I mean, I don't think I do anyway. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I don't think that I do. But I also don't know if I don't.
Right, you just don't want to do anything about it if they try.
Well, not exactly. I just don't want the United States to have to do anything about it. I mean, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think. But why might I be wrong?
So what do you want to do about it, Tucker? You want to call him up and be nice, and you want to say, oh, please, stop with the enrichment. It's hurting us. No, I don't think so. It doesn't work that way. Now, look, you either understand it or you don't.
No, I totally understand. I just want to ask questions. I'm an American. I was always taught that was a good thing.
No. Excuse me. You're not just asking questions. You know that. Don't treat the American people like they're stupid, okay?
That's not what I'm doing at all. But I am curious. I mean, I talked to Vladimir Putin last week, actually, who's a pretty great guy. And he actually asked me to ask you, and I think he did it with all due respect, actually. Why do you hate our country?
Look, it's very simple, Twitchy Tucker. Iran can never, ever be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. Not going to happen. Think of it. I wanted to solve this through my big, beautiful deal with Iran, right? I call it the big, beautiful deal. But if that doesn't work, I might have to use some big, beautiful steel. And believe me, they don't want to see that happen. The world doesn't want to see that happen.
Right, but there are many influencers who have millions of followers who don't want to see that happen at all. I mean, like, ever. They really do. I think they...
Bro, the Tucker laugh is so sinister, especially the way he does it. It's so crazy. It's like, is that a manufactured laugh though? Like, now like, when he does it, it's like it makes you think like, why does he do it that way? You know,
I prefer the proverbial jaw to World War, which was said, of course, by the chief villain of World War II, Winston Churchill. I think.
Yeah, that might be true, but you know what, Tucker? I have 74 million people who voted for me to be president of the United States, right?
Yes.
Think of it. That's a hell of a lot of people who want me to be commander-in-chief.
Right, but at the same time...
Excuse me. You know who they didn't vote for, right?
Gay liberals who are a threat to our democracy?
They didn't vote for Comrade Kamala, and they certainly didn't vote for you. That I can tell you. Okay?
That's hilarious, bro. What else has this dude got, man? What else we got? Is there anything I have to see? Oh, no way. He's got the homie in here. Let's see this.
Just want to begin, Tommy, mate, by saying thank you so much for visiting me while you are here in America. This is an extremely important moment in which we can really feel Jesus felicitating throughout our veins.
When I come to America, I didn't think that I was going to be meeting with a comedian from the UK. Huh?
Well, the thing about comedy, mate, is that its very reprobability as a conduit for dogmatic reliefability masks its essence as a guiding principle back to the light of Christianity. When I do deliberate on my jokes and I feel a Christ-like spirituality, imbuing and almost inseminating the audience with an irresistible lust for my joviality, I am filled with a sense of mission, a sense of purpose to restore our country back to its former great ability.
Anywhere in the UK, including the town where I'm from, which is a town called Luton, you have to be ashamed to preach the Bible. The only religion that you're allowed to preach in a public space is radical Islam.
My message for you, Tommy, is a very simple one, mate, and it can probably best be explicated through the use.
Okay. One more. Nick Fuentes and Russell Brand.
Nick Fuentes. Nick, how are you, mate?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me on your show.
It has been a long time coming, Nick, and I'm generally grateful to you, mate, for bringing us together and thankful to the Cosmos for bringing
Look at the outfit. First, the open shirt. Now this is like Nailing it.
Including sides of the opposite geographical universes in which we do exist, allowing us to talk about. So we may be vaginal, we may be erect, we may be upright, we may accept the Lord's blessing. So thank you, Jesus, for curating this meeting between me and Nick Fuentes. And please give him the grace, give him the goodwill, Lord. Will you, Nick, please allow me to begin this interview by granting you my blessing? Yes. Hallelujah and praise be to our Saviour. Nick, I have observed, I have encountered, I have borne witness to the vicissitudes of the responsibility that is now incumbent upon my shoulders, not only as a human being, but as a spiritual being in this cosmos, to give you the opportunity to provide your own new testimony and not have others talk for you. And in that vein, I do ask you about the cohort with which you surround yourself. Of course, I'm referring to the Tate brothers, to Clavicular, to Sneeko, and anybody else. Lord, do forgive me if I've overlooked one of the spiritual souls with which you have blessed the universe. But what is your take, Nick, on what happened in that club that night?
Yeah, so I went to a club for the first time, actually, with a few buddies. And, you know, we agreed to just live stream the whole thing. And I find myself in a car with a whole load of men. And, you know, suddenly I hear Ye's song playing. And I'm just like, well, okay, this is this is a pretty cool song.
Do you know, in the name of Jesus, who was responsible possibly for requesting that Killer Kalashnikov song? I don't know why I did that, but my impression of a Kalashnikov is at least getting better. Now, it may be a case of your flesh on my flesh, or your soul on my soul, or your spirituality on my spirituality. But do we know, as we humble ourselves before the great gift of music that God has reinvigorated, it is my responsibility, my obligation, my wankulation to ask you for
Andrew seems to think that it was Sneeko.
That song.
Andrew seems to think that it was Sneeko, including whoever put the song on in the club. And I'm like, whatever. I don't know if that's true.
So despite the inconclusivity of your erotic...
Okay. That's killing me, bro. How am I supposed to watch PBD seriously now?
Accused of improperly sharing classified information, according to Semaphore. The probe into his alleged misconduct has been ongoing for months and predates his resignations from the
Oh, hell no, bro. Don't tell me that PBD is on the side of classified intel leaked. Don't tell me, bro.
Intelligence Agency. This is Daily Mail. The shocking development comes just hours after Ken told Tucker that the U.S. was providing...
Oh, is there a Pierce Morgan? Okay. Let's look real quick before we get to it. We might have to end the show on this. I don't know how we can... He does have a Pierce Morgan. Oh, my gosh, bro.
Well, joining me tonight, I'm Piers Morgan, and Censored is indisputably the best guest that you'll ever see. Me, Piers Morgan. Welcome to... Hang on. Why do you get to introduce it? It's my show as well. All right. Do we introduce it together? Well, I think that would be the only fair way, all right? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Piers Morgan. Welcome to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Right. Well, I'm going to start by asking you this. What do you hate more? Prince Harry's ginger hair or Meghan Markle's craving of attention from me? Well, look, I don't hate either of them. I just think the way they parade around, pretending that they want privacy, well, secretly praying that I talk about them incessantly on Piers Morgan Uncensored, is totally and utterly wrong. And quite frankly, weird. Well, I agree with that. Well, let me ask you this. Hang on. How about I ask you the question this time? Okay. Did you know that I'm best friends with Cristiano Ronaldo? No, I didn't. Did you know that Donald Trump is one of my best friends? Yes, but I've got Ronaldo on speed dial. I spoke to him just this week. Yes, but you call him, whereas Donald Trump calls me. Hang on. It's not a popularity contest, Pete. Actually, it is. For what it's worth, I win because I've got almost 9 million followers on X.
His name is Tony Lapidus. Let me put the channel link in the chat. Copy link here. I'll just put this video. Oops. Oh shit. My bad. All right.
Well, joining me tonight.
I think we've seen plenty. I want to see now I need to see the take. What the hell they're talking about. I put Tony's... Bro, we got to get him on the show, man. If anybody, I'm going to follow him on X. Copy link address. I'll put his X in. Follow that dude. Let me go find him on X. Oh, is my thing... my post going to do anything? Let's see if people are seeing this. 216. Doesn't look AI fake to me. You're the one that put it in here, bro. I got the information from you. What do you mean, bro? You're crazy. You're contradicting yourself. What are you talking about? Fucking Grok. You are contradicting yourself here, bro. See attached image. This is clearly not a real photo. Fucking Grok trying to like propagandize me or what? Lie to me? Asshole. Anyways, okay. Where are we at? Oh, Tony Lapidus. Let me go find this Tony Lapidus. We gotta follow this cat right here. Crushing it, bro. This is his page. No take back, Grok, for real, bro. Lex Friedman,
The baddest man on the planet. I am Mike Tyson, a fighting legend and arguably the baddest man on the planet. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me in the podcast.
I've always wanted to ask you, when you were opposite your opponent, was it just about winning the fight even by points, or was it always about getting that knockout?
No, I wanted to kill him.
You mean like kill his capacity to hate so that he only had the capacity to love?
No, I mean, I literally wanted to kill him and take his soul, you know.
Is that nature or nurture?
Hey, listen, before any fight that I ever went into, Cus used to told me, he used to say, go take his soul. That was Cus.
The sounds are just like, ah. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see what these fuckers are saying about. This is crushing it. We haven't gotten there yet, so let's see what he says.
Faulty intelligence from Israel about the war. White House officials suggested Tuesday that Kent was an egomaniac who was responsible for national security leaks.
Just to even open with this is brutal, bro. It's like, it's not even a minute in, and the whole first minute is destroying Joe Kent, an American patriot.
Kent said in his post on X that he could not in good conscience, we read that. Iran posed no imminent threat, we read that. It marks the first major and voluntary departure of senior Trump administration officials since he retook office last year. So, Vinny, I'll come to you first.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, again, I saw Joe Kent's face maybe 3 months ago one time, never knew who he was, didn't do, because, he was never in the news. So then when you do some research, I mean, obviously, Tom, what was it, 11 tours? How many tours did he have?
Decorated, gold star.
Decorated, like soldier, loves America, lost his wife, I believe, in a terrorist attack in Syria. If I'm correct.
So I hope that Vinny actually has some. I hope that Vinny sets him straight. Let's just pray that that's
correct. All of a sudden 11 completed combat tours, primarily in Iraq. Earned 6 Bronze Stars for his service. So I don't know, Pat. They're out of nowhere. This does come out of nowhere that this happens, because first of all, put this to the side. Thank him for his service. Awesome as a veteran. God rest his wife's soul. But when it comes to the stuff that we're hearing about leaked, if anything from him was leaked, because this is what it's kind of sounding like, was leaked, and somehow, because what's the first interview that he did? First interview, first podcast. Went to Tucker.
Yep.
We're finding out from the CIA, and mind you, I talked about this earlier in the week. The CIA is not.
My face hurts too, bro. I laughed my ass off.
Just gonna wake up and go, yo, we're gonna monitor Tucker, because you guys know that they're not supposed to do any operations or any surveillance on American soil. That type of
never.
No. Yeah, no. Why would they do that? So that means that you're communicating with the foreign nation that we're freaking about to go to war with. They're gonna tap your phone. So this is starting to look like there were some leaks from the top that trickled down to somebody like Tucker. Tucker was in communication with Iran, and this could look really, really, really bad.
I think this is nastier than you guys think.
Way worse. What do you think? What do you think
I think this is going to go all the way to the top.
Really?
I think this is going to go all the way to the top.
Your opinion. What do you think? Like, how did this all? Like, what made him go on?
Yes, this is a good point. Barron pointed this out. Barron has had some great takes lately. Been watching every show. Yesterday was a little boring for me. I get it. We're seeing not to shit on Barron or anything. He was bringing out all the information. I was just got a little bored with watching every Erica Kirk or Erica Franzvi's TripAdvisor, which I get it. The information is important, and I'm sure he tied it in, but it was a little too much for me. But other than that, in general, though, that's great that he found it or Daisy found it. So shout out to them. But he's had some great texts. He talked about how attacking a widower, Ben Shapiro is saying that nobody can attack a widow. Erica Kirk shouldn't be attacked. Her husband just died, Charlie Kirk. Also, everybody, Andrew Colvett, I'm not big on attacking whatever. And then right around, if it doesn't fit their agenda, they turn around and attack Joe Kent, who lost his wife to war. And then, as Barron said, well, they would say, well, he's remarried. Well, he's intended to spend his life with that woman, don't you think? So why the double standard? There's just double standards everywhere. Okay, it's ridiculous. No, I do not. I think that Erica, one, is way too white to understand what I like. All right, and those write-ups. No offense to any white women, I am not like taking advice from Erica Kirk at all in general, and I don't think that somebody who writes reviews on public spaces should be taken seriously because they're only trying to get credits for something. It's like an agenda, another agenda. Okay, it's not like nobody writes a review on the freaking Parisian atmosphere of like, oh, the water looks crystal clear or the tower was a nice sight today. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? That's fucking stupid. Excuse my
X
language.
posted letter say he's going to retire.
No.
Or he's resigning.
Well, listen.
I'm just saying, Susan, with the white ass name. Sorry, Susan. You know I love you. Sometimes I can be brash, but I'm not walking back my statement. I mean, I like ethnic food. I like black food, like South. I'm from Memphis. I like Southern food. I shouldn't say black food. That sounds ridiculous. Like Southern food. I like, all that steaks and shit. I can't. She complained that an Italian barista or coffee shop they only had soy milk. Was like, it wasn't a complaint, but it was crafted in a way like their options that aren't milk, dairy-free options are soy. Bro, if you're writing dairy-free options on a freaking review, I do not want your fucking review at all. I do not care. All right. I do not care about your review. All right.
Allegedly, there was a couple guys that confronted him because he got caught.
I didn't say white food. I said she's too white.
Showing, and he promised that he wasn't going to do anything. He finally confessed.
Showing what?
That he shared intel with Tucker.
Oh, man.
Okay. And they addressed it. They went up to him, allegedly.
Let me correct myself. I don't even need to correct myself. What are you guys making me feel self-conscious for, huh? Come on. White women eat differently than me. How about that? I would take a black person's TripAdvisor over Erica Kirk's. Let's just keep it to Erica Kirk. How about that? Jesus.
Okay. So allegedly they did.
And but you mean intelligence? They were like, yo, dude.
I'm not reappropriating. I'm just saying, like, not apologies.
Guys are like, hey, why are you leaking info to Tucker? And then he comes back, and now there is even stories.
Can we focus? It's time to focus, please. I'm going to stop watching the chat. Keep distracting me.
So
let's go back.
Shared intel with Tucker.
Oh, man.
Okay. And they addressed it. They went up to him, allegedly. Okay. So allegedly they did.
And but you mean intelligence? They were like, yo, dude.
Yeah, guys are like, hey, why are you leaking info to Tucker? And then he comes back, and now there is even stories. So if you remember last year, again, remember Laura Loomer last year. Say what you want about her. She got, Waltz, fired from his position, okay, with the stuff that was shown. Last year, she says this. I told you last year that Kent leaked President Trump's private messages in meetings, particularly his meetings with Jewish Republicans, to Tucker Carlson and Max Blumenthal, when admin officials caught Kent, who was in the hallway to Trump's office, when he was seen picking up his phone and texting Tucker, he was confronted by senior White House officials who wanted to see if he would lie to their faces. So they cornered him and asked him if he leaked to Tucker. They said he knew it was him. Kent confessed. Kent told him, if you ever do that again, you're fired. Kent was told, if you ever do that again. This was a year ago.
Who told Kent that?
The other officials told him that, the senior White House officials. So then now you're hearing reports that this is a little bit weird to even talk about. Now you're seeing reports of, yesterday, Tulsi, or 2 days ago, she's being asked and pressed on questions about this, and her answer is very vanilla. Okay? Very vanilla. Very, very vanilla. And remember,
talking about vanilla, should I use that instead of white? I guess vanilla, right? Well, what is he talking about here? I'm still reading the chat. Hold on.
Asked and pressed on questions about this, and her answer is very vanilla. Okay? Very vanilla. Very, very vanilla. And remember, for the last 6 months, what has everybody been saying? Where's Tulsi?
I haven't seen her.
Where's Tulsi? Where's Tulsi? So, to me, is this it, Rob, where she's kind of like said a lot of things in that letter? Yeah, this is the one. So if you want to, it's a minute 30. If you want to play it and go play it.
Thank you. I also wanted to ask this because this week there was a high-profile resignation of Director of National Counterterrorism Center. Now, I want to be clear from the outset. I've communicated directly with President Trump my support for Operation Epic Fury, and I was very not only disappointed, but how inappropriate this letter was. And I want to read a statement that and get your personal assessment, whether you agree or disagree with that. And that's this. Early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform. And
we're over here laughing about Mark is like getting into the nitty-gritty of ethnicity of food. That's why I love Mark, man. He's like, hold on a second. Creole and Cajun and soul food and white food are different foods, guys. Don't play with me, man. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I know. Actually, I love both Creole food, Cajun food. But I love that. That's what I like about Mark, bro, is he's like, he's a lot like me. Like, he's methodical, he's technical, and oh shit, my mic. You guys are getting me all worked up over here. Jeez, man. This is what it's like. This is the mess that we live in with no internet. Someone's cutting my internet. You can't stop me. You can't stop me, but you can make it difficult. Okay, challenging, shall we say? But Mark is serious, bro. Mark is serious. I want to have Mark on again soon. I'm not going to open it up to the public today, but tomorrow night we should.
And pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed no imminent threat to the United States and that you should strike
so big right now.
There was a clear path to a swift victory. This was a lie, and is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into a disastrous Iraq.
Okay, right there.
He said a lot of things in that letter. Ultimately, we have provided the president with the intelligence assessments, and the president is elected by the American people and makes his own decisions based on the information that's available to him.
But do you agree does that statement he made, blaming Israel, concern you?
Yes.
Okay, so watch this. Go back 20 seconds from the moment she starts talking and what she says. Tulsi's a pro.
Oh, I love
and look, but you have to realize what's going on here, Vinny. Press play. Listen, what's going on here?
He said a lot of things in that letter. Ultimately, we have provided the president.
Do we need to turn this into a food? Do we need to go look at like what's his name, Mark? What's the guy, Mark? He traveled, that Asian looking dude, but his name is Mark, and he travels around the world and he eats food and he's like, you know who I'm talking about? What's his name? Oh my gosh, you guys. We're still talking about the food. Why did I start this?
president with the intelligence assessments,
Not
and the president
position. She's not
is
defending position.
elected by the American people
And then look
and
what
makes
she
his own
asked.
decisions based on the information
That
that's
means
available to him.
We
But
gave
do you
you the
agree with-
information. You make the decision, right?
She
Pause it
said,
right.
Based on the info-
"Bitch, put your eyebrows down." Bro, nice catch, dude. What's with the eyebrows, homegirl? She's like, did they like stitch them up? She's got tape, like invisible tape, holding them up. Like, bro, Tulsi Gabbard's like, please, guys, I had nothing to do with Joe Kent. I didn't want to, well, why is this information not coming out? He resigned, okay? I love it how the government takes something that somebody did. Somebody did this to me the other day. I put a pause, okay, because I was doing this contractual work. They paid me a few $1,000s to do some work. But then they wanted to bring me on full time. And so let me give you an example. Yes, and it's Mark Weens. Thank you, Scout. Let me give you an example of what I don't like about this. And this is what people do when they want to feel like they're in control. All right. For example, what happened to me recently, I was under contract. I built a demo for them, okay, which I built out fully. But then they were like, hey, we want to hire you full time. So I started working and I built everything that they needed. Like I built it super fast. I built it so well, okay, very high quality output and things that they didn't even think of that they would need. So imagine like a location, brick and mortar, where you would log in with your phone with the QR check-in and it would register in the admin dashboard. And in your members dashboard, you log in with Google Authenticator and you could scan the QR code with your phone camera and be able to check in with this location that you go to and register it in the calendar on your phone so you can match it, and then you could put notes, and there was an AI generated note and all of these things. So I started doing all this stuff. But then I said, you know what? Because then the next morning I woke up to like 3 emails of all of these additional changes and upgrades and all of this shit. So I said, hey guys, I'm going to put a pause until we actually have a contract. So then we need it in paper. So then they texted me and said, hey, we need to have a talk. Sounds great. Let's have a talk. Then they had this conversation. I won't go into the details of it, except for the fact that they said, I think that we're going to pause from here and we're just going to figure things out. After I was the one that said, I'm not working until we have a contract in paper with an agreed term. They came at me and they're the ones trying to flip it on me and saying, I think that we're just going to pause here. Like, that's what this is. This is Joe Kent quitting and then them coming out and trying to assume control. And so because they didn't like my request, they want to flip it and gain control. And then they use this psychological tactic, which was a negotiation tactic of trying to destroy my credibility or say that I'm not worth the money when I built they're not going to be able to find anybody to do what I've done. I tried to tell them, they just took it as ego. And I said, look, it's just the fact that I've been building and I've been using AI since ChatGPT 1.0 to code. And I've had the privilege, because I haven't had to work, that I know how to do this because I've been spending 200 hours a week building shit with AI and I haven't had to work. There's not many people. AI hasn't been around that long, but they use that to make me, it was an evil, demonic type of tactic, in my opinion, to try to make me second guess my value, when in fact I undervalued myself because I wanted to grow with I was trying to get a deal where I would grow with the company. This isn't about me though. It's a tactic, right? It's like, we're going to assume control, even though you're the one that quit. You're the one that stopped this situation from going further on your behalf. We're going to flip the script and we're going to make it about us firing you and us making this whole situation what it is instead of you. It's a control mechanism. So I don't like that this is happening. And it goes to show you, when you see these type of tactics, this is this is evil, guys. These are evil tactics. I'm telling you now.
Information that's available to him.
And I agree, you know, and it was my fault for I asked for $100K a year to work full time or whatever was requested, but like I can do the work in 2 hours a day. But my positioning would be evaluated like Google put out a document saying that if you were to hire someone like me in salary, I wanted an equity stake. So that's why I said it was $96K a year, $8K a month. Plus I want a sliver of anything that my technology online brings in. And that just blew the whole lid open. Oh, you're not worth it. I'm like, whatever. I told them to fuck off. They actually thought that after attacking me, that I was going to like change my opinion. In fact, it just pissed me off. And I just said, and then after the conversation, I was so frustrated, you know, I was like, what is this? Attacking my character, attacking who I am, my past, when I'm just a coder, man. You know, I'm just building shit for your company. And anyways, that's a whole nother thing. I'm over it, but it did piss me off. And then after that, next day, I told them how much they pissed me off after I slept on it because I decided I don't want to work with them. And then they asked me to go to coffee, and then I go to coffee, and they're like, hopefully we can still come to an agreement. And I was like, absolutely not. I don't want to work with you fucking idiots, assholes. Crazy, man. People think that they can just psychologically abuse people to gain favoritism in their corner. And that's just not how it works. You don't treat good people like shit. You just don't, especially people that can do things that you can't do and that you don't understand. And because of that, you want to attack somebody that's great at what they do because you don't understand it. That's a problem on their behalf. Now, that's my situation. But when we look at what's happening with the government now, look at all these suits, bro. No emotion. They can't even show emotion. This dude has got a perma frown. Okay. This dude can't, like, these guys almost look AI, like bots, bro. Frown here, frown here, frown here, stress here. Like, she looks like she's about to bust into tears, bro. So you see how they manipulate people to make them question their reality around them. And it's sad, bro. It's sad to see. And you have to stay strong. Like, somebody who was desperate in my position, I'm not desperate. Like, I make money. I have contracts. I have clients. I have consults that I do on a regular basis. I charge $200 an hour, $250 in some cases, $150 for the homies when I can. So it's like, you have to know your worth. And if somebody ever tries to tell you that you're not worth something because you can't back it up with like decades of experience, well, guess what? AI's only been around for 3 years, 2 years, 3 years that I've had access to it. Nobody else has. So I know what I'm worth, right? I know what I can do. And people that know me also know that, right? And what's crazy is, like, Jesse referred me to these people. And but anyways, that's beside. I don't want to get on about myself.
But do you agree with?
Oh, let me say what's up. What's up, Measured Man? That part, I knew there was a reason I found your channel. You have relit a fire that was extinguished to me, bro. I'm glad to hear that, man. You are a special person. You need to know that. You are a gift. You've been a gift to me. You've been a gift to the people around you. And I want you to keep trucking. I'm glad that I was able to help stem that fire a little bit more and stoke that fire for you, bro. Because you deserve it, man. I know I don't reach out as much and I'm super busy and shit, but you are special. All right. In an amazing way. You are gifted. And never forget that. Don't let everybody in this chat, every single one of you, you need to know that you are special. You have a gift. You wouldn't be here right now. This is God's platform, bro. I might talk shit. I might cuss and this and that. I talk to God like the homie. He might let me get away with it. I don't use his name in vain. I do my best. If I have it, I don't pay. I do my best. I definitely am very aware of that. I used to do it all the time, but I've changed. And if I can help anybody understand that this life is made for us, for me and you. Don't forget that. Don't ever let the demonic people on this planet with no soul, with no passion, with no understanding or discernment of good versus evil, take that away from you. Because if that happens, then they win. They win. Evil can't prevail, bro. There's too much goodness in this world. Thank you for the super chat. Just know that, like, all these people that are out here trying to make us second guess and stuff, like, people will, if this continues, okay, if this continues, people will forget that Joe Kent quit first. And that's their goal. They're going to make him out to be another Snowden. Is that what they're trying to do? You can kiss my ass with that shit. I will never forget. You all here, there's 350 people watching on both platforms, or are on all three platforms. Do not, there's 350 people watching, 338. Now when we add Rumble, there's another however many people. Where are we at? I don't know. There's only 3 people on Rumble. Go follow your boy on Rumble. But don't forget, man, what happened with Joe Kent. He quit first. You understand? Please don't let people trick you, because the more they are able to do that, the weaker our discernment will get. Don't forget.
Information, you make the decision, right? Pause it right there, Rob. Pause it right there, because she's asking that follow-up. Okay, go back when she starts following up with the question right there, please. So watch her answer.
Does that statement he made, blaming Israel, concern you?
Yes.
What does that mean? Yes. Concern you could mean, yes, yes, it concerns me.
Yeah.
So, but yes could mean I agree with them.
Of course.
Right.
She's
Not
finally,
yes means I'm not.
It's a vague yes.
So she may resign in the next few days. I wouldn't be surprised if she's next and she resigns. I don't think she will be fired. I think she will resign. Okay, I think she'll step down in the next few weeks, maybe. And by the way, my guesstimation, my gut feeling of her resigning, 20-30%.
Okay.
That's still a high number. Oh, yeah.
That's pretty
Oh, yeah.
high.
And let me tell you what else happened yesterday, which is kind of weird. Story comes.
By the way, I'm glad someone mentioned that. You need to follow the White House channel, because they put out content that we must know about. They put out a video. I don't know if it was a live stream or was it a video. It could have been a live stream. When was this? 3 days ago. This was a few days ago. It was 2 hours. Maybe it was a live stream then. It was about the Board of Peace. And we don't see this unless we are paying attention. That's why I follow the Board of Peace. They explain what they're doing with our tax dollars. Trump has created a new UN to oversee the UN, to create a new control vector that Trump chairs and controls the money. I wouldn't have known about this if I didn't see that this channel had put it out. And then I followed it because I realized that they're talking about shit constantly on this channel, you guys. There's live streams every day. So please do yourself a favor and follow at White House and listen to what they say. And pay. I'm going to probably start making content all around just this channel. I could talk history, all this stuff. All right, let's keep going.
Comes out with J.D. Vance now saying, dropping stories out there to people, which is what? Hey,
I'm not going to run.
Have you seen this? Rob, can you verify this if this is true or not? Is story of from the AFP Post News saying that J.D. Vance is considering not running for president in 2028 due to family priorities. Okay, did you guys see this or no?
It was in the podcast. You sent it in the podcast.
Yeah, not going to run in 2028. Do you see anything coming up, Rob?
Yep, right there.
Okay. The decision to keep J.D. Vance in the situation Vance was deeply immersed behind the scenes. No, not this one, Rob. It was in
the
right there. You just had it right there. Go back to Twitter. It was the next story. No, not there.
Pat, can I read it for you?
Yeah.
So, this is
no,
what
I
you-
have it. Rob
Okay.
has it as well. I just
Okay.
want him to find it. I texted to him this morning. So if you go to the right there above it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It was the first thing you texted.
Yeah,
us.
J.D. Vance is considering not running for president in 2028 due to family priorities. This is 11
What?
hours ago.
Really? No shit. Considering that family priorities. What is that, bro?
Vance will discuss this matter with his family to decide if the timing is right. If wife Usha is currently pregnant with their fourth child, other speculation suggests that Republican polling shows strong push for Marco Rubio and causing Vance to reconsider political environments.
Bro, they're gonna replace Vance as the runner with Rubio. That's the goal. That's the goal, huh?
Strategists caution that a heavily contested primary followed by a general election loss as VP could potentially decimate
Look at the first comment.
Vance's future ambitions as the primary and high. So if you
They didn't even address the first comment, bro. Nick Fuentes won. You guys know the story of Nick Fuentes, right? It's okay, honey buns. You good, girl. You're good. The Nick Fuentes story, he basically said, if you don't know, I'll just say it real quick. What happened was Nick Fuentes said, we will basically go at war against JD Vance. If he does something, I forget what exactly it was. But basically, Nick Fuentes is like, the Groypers we're all going to not vote for you. And eventually, I don't know what the stats are saying regarding Vance and stuff today, but
potentially decimate Vance's future ambitions as the primary and high. So if you run and you lose in the primary to Rubio and you're the vice president, that's a pretty heavy thing right there to happen. So to me, where does all this go? The alliance, Tucker, Joe Kent, probably Tulsi. If Joe Kent is your direct report, you're probably part of that camp as well.
I think so.
Then you have probably Massey, and you have a small little dotted line to J.D. Vance. So I think what just happened with Joe Kent is the nuclear bomb to put a
Divider?
divide between them. And I know yesterday, the press secretary, who does a phenomenal job, she got up and she said, to all the people that are saying stuff that's going on with Tulsi, shame on you and whatever, she kind of defended her. While Tulsi,
to answer this without going on a long rant, I don't know. It's if I had to use a scale. Okay, when we're using the word Fed, you mean more like an asset? I don't think he's a Fed. I think, well, maybe he could be a Fed, but he scales heavier towards the Fed scale than non-Fed. He was there charging people in, like telling people to go in, and all these people got arrested and this and that. Yeah, did his bank accounts and all this get closed and all this stuff? Yeah, so I don't know. He got punished a lot in different ways, and now he's being propped up. I think that freedom of speech has kind of morphed in a certain funny way where Fuentes is able to speak again. He's on Rumble, and that's become more prominent. So Fed, no, maybe not. Asset, possibly, because I've seen him flip-flop multiple times. Like and subscribe if you guys haven't yet. Hit that like, hit that sub. Let's get this pushed out. When it comes to Fuentes, bro, I've seen him flip-flop so many times on Israel, especially when Charlie Kirk was killed. So he literally just stopped talking shit on them. He was like the biggest dumper on Israel for a while. So I don't know, man. He could be just some weird flip-flopper fence sitter, but definitely leans scales harder towards the asset line, if you would. I guess I could say that, but I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest. I think that he's grown a lot of popularity. He'd be the perfect person to utilize to get to the popular younger generation. So he'd be the perfect asset. And what he's been through, you don't think that Fuentes, if he was approached by feds to say, hey, like, we'll make sure that you never get fucked over again if you just, push this idea, say this, say that. Bro, he's grown his entire life now. Like, he doesn't ever have to work again. He never will. He doesn't have to run for politics. He probably shouldn't even do any of that. He could literally substantiate his entire living from streaming forever. Makes a ton of money streaming, hundreds of millions of dollars. So he would make the perfect asset.
Is standing behind her. But let's not get it twisted. Tulsi's very ambitious.
Oh, yeah.
Tulsi's very ambitious, and she doesn't see herself as just having this job. That's the one, Rob, I think. Is that it? Yeah, play the clip.
I think, who is saying that she would release this to try to boost her standing with the president? Who has said that?
Well, the president has publicly undermined her when it came to Iran. He said she was wrong. He told me that she didn't know what she was talking about. That was on Air Force One on camera.
The only people who are suggesting that the director of national intelligence would release evidence to try to boost her standing with the president are the people in this room who constantly try to sow distrust and chaos amongst the president's cabinet. And it is.
Bro, I got to tell you, and I've said this before. Did I say it on stream? Yeah, I think I did. Caroline Leavitt is a beast, bro. She is a soldier. She is a soldier. Good or bad, game recognized game. And that bitch, excuse my language, that chick, she's just got the gift, to just chill. The way she speaks, she's sharp. I wish that she could use it for something great. She would be amazing at something like amazingly great, She's captured, bro.
It's not working. I will just answer your question directly. I am with the President of the United States every day. He has the utmost confidence in Director Gabbard. He always has. He continues to, and that is true of his entire cabinet, who is all working as one team.
Hey, I'm glad you. Dude, is he saying the same thing?
Continues to, and that is true of his entire cabinet, who is all working as one team to deliver on the promises this president made. Does anyone else have?
You can pause it. She may be one of the best ones ever. Now, obviously.
Oh, game recognized game. I recognize game. PBD's got his thing too, bro. You can't lie. Like, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, they just shut off people altogether. I've never been that way. I've never been like, oh, because you said one thing or you do something I'll never see, I'm just blinded indefinitely. Dude, I just said it. I've never seen this clip.
I can't see
Anyone else have?
You can pause it. She may be one of the best ones ever. Now, obviously, I can't see she's the GOAT, because we all know Karine Jean-Pierre is the GOAT. We can't ever undermine her.
She's really
for
good.
her to read off the papers. Everything was written to her. The ChatGPT press secretary that we had, Karine Jean-Pierre. But I think something's going on here, and I think goes all the way to the top. By the way, can you verify this? Did Joe Kent vote for Bernie Sanders?
Yes.
Did he vote for Bernie Sanders? Was he a Democrat until like 2021 or something like that?
2016, he voted for
until
Bernie,
until 2021, Joe Kent was a registered Democrat. In 2020, he voted for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary. Vinny, do you see this?
Let me see if I can find a clip of Jean-Pierre. I don't. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Being challenged. Let me see if I can find a good one for being challenged.
While elected Republicans side with big corporations and special interests.
This isn't a press conference. Let me see. Kayleigh. Let me see who's better. Kayleigh Jean-Pierre press conference. I guess this is a press conference, huh? Let's see. I want to see her being here. Let's see what's.
After what our national security advisor shared, but clearly this is important to us. And
see, this is different, though. This is, to me, very different when it comes to the way the personality is. For me, I think that Pierre is more slow, methodical, thoughtful, where Caroline Leavitt is like a bulldozer, bro. Just like, rah, 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 rah. She's like Andrew Tate. Like,
that he voted for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary. He switched to the Republican Party in 2021.
Oh, so that's very recent.
Yeah.
Very recent.
So did Tulsa.
And not voted for Biden. He voted for a socialist. Not Biden. So this isn't like Tulsi, or this isn't like voted for Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
Adam.
And also apparently voted for Bernie in 16 when he was the...
Right.
But so with this Joe Kent story, the first thing I thought of when I heard, well, Joe Kent said something about Trump was, who's Joe Kent? I mean, let's face it. We study politics.
I think that's the issue with the bureaucracy. Is like, why aren't we voting all of these people in? They just bring it, like we vote for like a few people and then they just bring in the horde. Bring in the horde. Like, all of these people need to be completely, like, I don't know, man. I think the voting system is garbage anyways. Don't get me wrong. You can't fix this by voting while you have lobbyists that are putting money into people's pockets as soon as they get in. As soon as they get in, bro, they are trashing our country with money. Money that's being devalued every single day, by the way. So voting is not going to fix the bullshit we're dealing with. But to just have one person voted in and then like throw the rest of them in a bag on their back and walk in like they're fucking Santa Claus with a whole bunch of new toys. The hell is this, bro? Oh my gosh, bro.
I've been actively studying politics for at least a decade. We've been doing the show for 6 years. I've never heard of this person. Have you ever heard of?
If that's the case, you're not actively studying politics.
Him before this situation? The name didn't ring a bell to me.
So I want to know where you're going with that, because to me, you don't get the job, the director of national counterterrorism, without being somebody.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You know, the vetting process should come into question. But at the end of the day, we're saying, do you trust
the vetting process? The guy is. Here we go with Adam. I'm not going to get started. I'm not. I promise I'm not. I'm not. Just hold me accountable. Don't let me get started on Adam, please.
Just some guy you've never heard of, or the president of the United States that all four of us has voted for? To me, it's 100% versus zero. Now let's go deeper of who this person is, though. We're not just going to dismiss him and say can't trust anything because I don't know you. Okay, let's go a little deeper. Apparently, he did vote for Bernie in 16, then vote for him in the primary. Then there's even Trump tweeted, hey, this is what this guy said 2 years ago, complete Iran hawk. And now he's this Iran dove. And then it's basically fizzled down to, yeah, Trump's controlled by Israel. Tell me where we've heard this before. So to me, at the very least, he's flip-flopping, he's impressionable. But at what point, how did this happen? So 2 quick stories. I used to have one of my best friend's younger brother. Whenever I would see him, he was somebody new. I was like, oh, what's up, dude? How are you? He's like a little skater kid. The next time I see him, he's a little gangster. Next time I see him a few years later, he goes, yeah, I'm actually becoming a rabbi. Becoming a rabbi? What? See him a few years later, he goes, no, I stopped being a rabbi. I'm a teacher now. And then I see him recently. He's like a Jewish kid, but he's pro-Palestine. I go, listen, at what point are you just completely confused?
Oh, what is this? You're going to make me end the stream here, bro.
With who you are and are completely impressionable by the world around you. To me, that's Joe Kent.
Here, let's.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you look at the polling data and there are numbers that just jump off the screen at you. And this is one of those. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%.
Where do these votes come from? Can we see that? Do we need to go vet this shit? Let's go. Tony Lapidus. Okay. MAGA voting vote polls. Fox News. Trump. Okay. Latest. Since Trump is MAGA, by default, MAGA should vote 100% with him. If he changes his mind, MAGA will. Do you guys even realize that MAGA doesn't exist anymore? MAGA stopped existing the moment he said MIGA. Okay? It stopped. I was shocked. The moment he said MIGA, it completely destroyed any MAGA infrastructure, and it was long being destroyed before that. To me, it was destroyed before he got into office when he launched a fucking meme coin and grifted the whole country and world with 97.5% allocation to his people, stealing money from the United States Americans. Where are the polls, man? Can you help me find polls, Grok? Help me find polls, bro. Can you link me some MAGA polls as of March 2026? We got to see what's up, bro. Let me match this with this.
100%. If you are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972
Bro, his voice is too loud,
Miami
bro.
Dolphins.
Okay,
Look at the
undefeated
fine
is what I'm
print.
saying.
66-31 among non-MAGA.
Okay, here's a poll right here. Okay, let's break this out. Okay, so do you approve? So interactive polls, how many followers? 233K. Do you approve or disapprove of the way Donald Trump is handling situation in Iran? MAGA supporters, 91%. Republican, 83%. YouGov economist, 359. Okay, this is crazy. I don't even understand this poll. I'm not that smart, I guess. What else we got? Okay. Like, the thing is, they're gonna bot it anyways. Like, these polls don't mean shit. You can't look like I think you could look on Polymarket and then look at Trump Polymarkets. This would be a decent way to see. Trump announces Trump out as president by March 31st, less than 1%. Oh, no, that's not going to happen. Ooh, Trump out as president by June 30th, 9%. Wow. Bro, I might have to place some bets. Let me see what's up, bro. Odds Trump acquires Greenland. Okay, here, let me zoom in on these for you guys. What will Trump post this week? Is there anything? Let me look at, can we look at past? Let me see if past Polymarket. Give me past Polymarket links to see wins, losses, and the actual bets on Trump MAGA market bets. Let's see if we can find that. Presidential election winner. Do we have anything as of like as of recent predictions? June 30th. Okay, this is kind of a waste of time, guys. We'll keep going with PBD and then we'll end it soon.
So that means 81.
Miami Dolphins.
Okay,
Look at the
undefeated
fine
is what I'm
print.
saying.
66-31 among non-MAGA. So that means
Even
Republican
against
siders-
non-MAGA, he still has 2/3 of them.
correct.
Meaning,
That's right
when
there.
they say MAGA, they mean the Trump's base,
Like guys like you.
the hardcore
Yeah.
on MAGA 2.0. But basically, listen, you do an Instagram poll, you ever done an Instagram poll? I could say, hey, do you want me to give you $1 million or do you want me to kick you in the balls? you're gonna still have 2 to 3% that's like,
are those my only choices?
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that ball kick.
All right. I'm gonna end it now. Look, like I said before, don't let anybody trick you into thinking all this shit. All right. You need to have discernment, stay strong, and don't let people trick you into thinking that you are worth less, that other people are telling lies when they are the ones telling truth. Do not let this happen. We must stay strong. All right. These guys, Adam is just insane to me. He literally is making me in. Plus, I've been streaming for 5.5 hours. It's time to go. Love you all. Stay up. Stay smart. Keep your head on a swivel. Be good. Do something nice for somebody. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. We're going to be live with Bays and Kelly, and American Discourse should hopefully join us. If not, it'll be us. And then we'll go through our show. And then after that, we'll open up to the public. So whatever the conversation is, you're more than welcome to join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. PST. I'm going to be in LA. So hopefully I'm not just on my phone, but yeah. Oh man, I feel dumb. I feel bad because I'm taking my family one night to LA on vacation for an evening. And we got this stream, and Bays has been hyping it up. If anything, we'll send everybody over to Bays if I can't make it, or I'll pop in a little bit and I'll stream it, and then yeah. Anyways, thanks again. Love you all. See you in the next one.